had 40 instances of contact at Bristol, and of course it's a short track, but we do not intend to have that today.
Let's see what happens on the last lap. Again, it is Davey Allison.
Oh, Sterling
Marlin spins off of corner number 2. Sterling Marlin spins down the backstretch. There you can see Sterling, who is not happy with the situation that developed there on the last lap out of the second corner.
He's going down to try to have a word with Ricky Rudd. That's not very smart, Sterling.
Let's see what happens on the final lap of the race. Here comes the field down for the white flag. 1 more to go. Rudd is inside of Dale Earnhardt as they go into turn number 1, and both of them spin.
And Jeff Bodine takes the lead.
The short track season, it's the most volatile time of the year. Tempers flare, you run inches apart, and I'm telling you, it can mean the difference between winning and getting in the wall.
Standings. But Benny Parsons, where they're losers, there's always some winners.
Always winners. And I tell you, Davey Allison might be the biggest winner in the last couple of weeks with a third-place finish in Darlington and a win in Bristol just 2 weeks ago. He's gained about 10 places in the Winston Cup point standings. He's only 204 points behind Earnhardt in 12th spot. A couple of other gainers. Ken Schrader came into this race last year 16th in the Winston Cup, is now 6th. How about Mark Martin? He came in 9th last year. He is now currently 3rd in the Winston Cup point standings. But the biggest gainer of all is Morgan Shepherd. He came into the first Union 400 last year in 19th place in the Winston Cup point standings. He is now 2nd place, only 42 points behind the leader, Dale Earnhardt. And Jerry Punch is with Morgan Shepherd.
Well, Benny Parsons, it has been a dream season for Morgan Shepherd and Bud Moore, who teamed up late last fall to run 1990 together. They have not finished out of the top 10 thus far, and we are 3 months into the 1990 season, and they are only 42 points out of the Winston Cup lead behind Dale Earnhardt. But what has been a dream year has really turned into a nightmare of a week for Morgan Shepherd. Earlier this week, Morgan said you got some serious back pain. How'd that happen?
Well, I slept on the sofa at home. My wife and daughter had a cold, so I didn't want to sleep in the bed and take a chance on catching a cold. So I woke up the next morning and I had some back pains, and it all came from a early accident in my life when I was 23 years old. A cow ran out in front of me and I killed her on a motorcycle, and I spent a lot of years with problems with that. But what caused it to flare back up really, I think, is the crash at Daytona. I crashed a Busch car in practice, and I broke a rib and tore some ligaments loose in my chest, and I think it just kind of loosened things up.
Now, apparently, we're told now, you didn't tell anyone in Daytona, but he had no use of his right arm at all, had to shift with the left arm, and I guess the left arm, even late in the race, there was a problem.
It sure was. I drove the whole race with just entirely with my left arm, and then 20 laps to go, I lost use of it, and so I was just barely hanging on to the steering wheel the last 20 laps, and we managed to finish 10th.
Well, apparently they had to lift him in and out of the car earlier in the week here at Wilkesboro, but he is walking today and will be in the car hopefully. And the next time he is lifted out will be in Victory Lane. Remember the last time a Ford won here at Wilkesboro? It was a Bud Moore car almost a decade ago, 1980, with Bobby Allison aboard. Now, the newest member of our Speed World team is standing by between a couple of other potent Fords, John Kernan.
Well, Jerry Punch, you're exactly right. 2 Fords sitting here on the front row at North Wilkesboro, and that is kind of strange because, you see, the Fords are not supposed to be that tough here on the short tracks. However, the Ford of Mark Martin has been the toughest car all year long on the short tracks, finishing first at Richmond and then second by a nose 2 weeks ago at Bristol. On the other hand, Jeff Bodine has not finished that well on the short tracks in his Ford, but he is here at his car owner's home track. And if anybody can figure out how to make a car run well here at North Wilkesboro, it is Junior Johnson. So these two guys can stay together this afternoon. I look for them to be very tough at the end of the race.
And, John, the last time a Junior Johnson Ford won here at North Wilkesboro was this race back in 1967. The winner was Darrell Derringer, and he led all 400 laps. Leader in a GM Goodwrench Chevrolet, car number 3. Going to row number 3, it's Kyle Petty, who won Rockingham in the Peak Antifreeze Pontiac, car number 42. And then outside of that third row will be Ken Schrader from Fenton, Missouri. He's driving the Kodiak Chevrolet, car number 25. Darrell Waltrip will start in 7th position in the Tide Chevrolet, car number 17. And alongside his teammate Ricky Rudd from Chesapeake, Virginia, in the number 5 Levi Garrett Chevrolet. Going to the 5th row now, it's Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California in the number 4 Kodak Bill Oldsmobile. And outside will be Alan Kowicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin in the number 7 Xerox Antifreeze Ford. Rick Wilson will start in 11th position. He's in the number 75 Dinner Bell Foods Oldsmobile, and outside that row will be Terry Labonte in the number 1 Skoll Oldsmobile. Starting in 13th position will be Bill Elliott in the number 9 Coors Melling Ford. 14th starting position goes to Sterling Marlin from Columbia, Tennessee, the 94 Sunoco Oldsmobile. Jimmy Spencer will start inside of row number 8, car 57, the Heinz 57 Pontiac, and then Dale Jarrett in the number 21 Citgo Ford. Dale from Conover, North Carolina. And we take a look now at the rest of the starting lineup as the field is on the backstretch in the warm-up laps that will precede the green flag and the start of 400 laps of competition here at North Wilkesboro. There you see Kenny Wallace in car number 36. He's making his first Winston Cup start here this afternoon, and the two there in row 16, Bobby Hillen and Mike Alexander, had to get into the field through provisionals.
Bob, we have 3 in-car cameras this afternoon. We're looking at the Phillips 66 Trop Arctic car that Dick Trickle will start in 3rd place, and his best qualifying effort ever in Winston Cup competition.
We have a camera that will look directly outside the car. Then here is the side cam that's also mounted on Dick Trickle's car. And look at this shot. This is going to give us some tremendous shots. That's the face cam, and we'll be showing Dick Trickle as he maneuvers this 5/8 mile racetrack here this afternoon. We also have an in-car camera in the number 11 car of Jeff Bodine that will be starting outside of the front row, and also in the number 33 Skoll Bandit Oldsmobile driven by Harry Gant. So actually we've got more cameras in cars this afternoon than we do outside the racetrack. There is the bumper cam that will be on Harry Gant's car. The field is moving through the 3rd and 4th turns now here at North Wilkesboro. It's a sellout crowd. Beautiful weather here in the Brushy Mountains. The pace car pulls off. Felix Sabates will be waving the green flag to begin this first Union 400, and there it is. The race is on.
Jeff Bodine wasted no time getting on the inside.
Mark Martin leading this field. He leads lap number 1. Behind is Jeff Bodine. Then comes Dale Earnhardt. Ken Schrader in a battle for 4th position between Schrader and the 66 car on the inside. There it is from the side cam. Look how close they are. Dick Trickle and Ken Schrader in 25.
Let's see if that paint's going to last another corner. The Schrader moves up not too close to Dick Trickle. They're probably 4 or 5 inches apart.
This is the best battle on the racetrack for 4th position. Trickle now gets a half car length advantage on Ken Schrader. He works the inside of the track. Coming off the 4th corner once again, and Dick Trickle now has secured that 4th position.
I think early in the race, the inside position will be, the inside groove will be the best place to be on the racetrack.
There's Kyle Petty in car number 42 trailing as we look out the back glass of the Trop Arctic Pontiac driven by Dick Trickle. Looking back to Ken Schrader and Kyle Petty and Darrell Waltrip and Ricky Rudd. The number 27 car of Rusty Wallace started way back in 22nd position. You can see there he is, positioned behind Brett Bodine in the Quaker State Buick car number 26. So Rusty Wallace, the defending Winston Cup champion, is trying to work his way through the field, and he is already up to 15th. So he has picked up several positions here just in the first few laps.
Bob, he looks like the car is running awfully well. He's, as Jimmy Spencer passes him on the outside, but he was trying to get by Brett Bodine in the 26 car, which opened the door for Spencer. And now he's got problems on the outside. The Dinner Bell car of Rick Wilson trying to go by on the outside.
Side-by-side racing here for 15th position. Rick Wilson, number 75, and Rusty Wallace in 27. And now we see a battle between the 42 car of Kyle Petty and the 25 car of Ken Schrader, and this is for 5th position.
Now remember, they're running radial tires here, and Kyle Petty did such a brilliant job at Rockingham in that peak antifreeze Pontiac, so he knows, he has tested the radial tires quite a bit, so he knows how to make it work.
That 17 car of Darrell Waltrip was the fastest in the final practice period yesterday afternoon, and second quick in that final practice was Dale Jarrett. So those cars obviously are set up for the race well, and we'll be watching them. Waltrip now beginning to, there's the 3 Rick Hendry cars running right there together. The 25 of Schrader, the 17 of Waltrip, and the 5 of Ricky Rudd, and a spin over in turn number 2. Couple of cars involved, including Rick Mast in number 2 and the number 20 car of rookie contender Rob Moroso, but all cars are still moving. A lot of smoke coming from the Rob Moroso car, so obviously some sheet metal rubbing against the tire, and that car may have some serious mechanical problems. He will be coming in.
That's an oil problem. He's broken an oil line or something on that left front of the automobile.
So it's our first yellow of the afternoon. It comes on lap number 19. We're at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and we'll be back right after this. Well, that clicker, I knew it was going to get us in trouble.
Yahoo!
Oh, baby, oh, baby. Mast is kind of banged up, too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the guy that hit his left front.
They're taking Moroso to the garage, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys in the pit reporters are going to the garage with Moroso. Tell John Kernan he's going the wrong way.
Okay. Satellite hello to Henry Joy III. 25th year of coaching the Sockers, a Little League baseball team in Johnson City, Tennessee.
Hello to my new granddaughter, Carson.
All right.
And Kelly watching in this afternoon.
AJ Laycock, TV Laycock, Cindy Laycock, all the Laycocks in Indianapolis.
See, the oil driver putting down this time.
Yep.
The oil.
And Curtis is watching on satellite, and so is his mom. They're putting down a lot of oil dry over there. Okay.
By the way, Neil, Mark Martin's radio is bleeding through on us.
Yep.
Mark Martin radio.
Yep. Here's Robin Pemberton.
Mm-hmm. Okay. A couple of cars have suffered extensive damage in an incident on the 10th lap here at North Wilkesboro. That's the car of Rob Moroso. You can see them doing work on it. Also involved in the incident over in turn number 2 is Rick Mast. In number 2, the Raven Boats Pontiac. Now let's take a look at what happened over there in turn number 2 from the in-car camera carried by Harry Gant.
Well, he's following Richard Petty into the turn, and you can see a couple of cars up in front sort of getting together. There's Rob Moroso. Richard Petty comes down on the inside and taps Moroso. Petty's car almost goes up over the front end of Rob Moroso's car, almost on the side.
And Harry did a fine job diving to the inside to avoid that. Let's look at it in real time now.
Now they're entering turn number 1. Moroso goes out a little bit, and Richard Petty hits him just a little bit to get him sideways, and you see the result.
And there is Rob Moroso, and Jerry Punch is right there.
He's still sitting in the car, as you see, Bob. And Rob, how bad's the car hurt?
Well, I think we just maybe bent the front suspension and the oil cooler at the bottom of it, so it's going to take us a couple laps to get it back together.
Well, they're working on the car. Now, the oil cooler is the reason you're seeing so much speedy draw on the racetrack. The crew now working under the front of the car. That oil cooler carries 14 quarts of oil, and it's empty. It has been ruptured. The line has been torn. They'll try to replace that while they're cleaning up the track and try to get him back in action. Rob?
Yeah, there is an extensive amount of oil dried down in turn number 2, and there is Richard Petty's car also involved in that incident. Back with more at North Wilkesboro after this. We are just about to go back to green flag racing after a 2-car crash, actually a 3-car crash over in turn number 2. Rick Mast, Rob Moroso, and Richard Petty involved. The pace car pulls off the track as Mark Martin leads them down for the restart. And look at Dale Earnhardt trying to sneak by the number 11 Budweiser car of Jeff Bodine on that restart. He went to the outside of the racetrack but had to get on the brakes. And so Jeff Bodine maintains second position, and Dale Earnhardt of the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet is third. Fourth position belongs to Dick Trickle.
Looks like the Chevrolet Lumino Earnhardt had some tremendous acceleration in second gear on the restart. He's still pushing Jeff Bodine pretty tough, and now we're in fourth gear up to speed.
Watching from Dick Trickle's car. First 3 just ahead of him. He runs in 4th spot.
Certainly he knows how to mix it up on a short track. Perhaps has more wins on short tracks than any other driver in the country.
That is absolutely right. He, of course, has won many, many races in ASA and ARTCO competition in the Midwest, and was the Rookie of the Year in Winston Cup competition last year.
Earnhardt is trying to work out that outside groove because he realizes he's just not going to be able to get on the inside of Bodine. He's looking outside. He doesn't want to give the position away to Trickle, but yet he's trying to get that groove worked out on the outside. But obviously that's not the place to be, as Ned mentioned a moment ago. The inside, the preferred line this early in the race.
Good nose-to-tail racing. First 4 cars right together on the racetrack.
Tell you what, Dick Trickle is doing a heck of a job in Cale's car. He looks inside Earnhardt, trying to get inside going down in turn 1.
Meanwhile, he has his hands full with the number 42 car of Kyle Petty, as now becomes a 5-car battle for the race. Mark Martin has lengthened his lead just a little bit over second place Jeff Bodine. This side cam now on Dick Trickle's car.
Earnhardt really wants to go up on that outside, but he just can't quite muster enough either nerve or speed. I don't know which it is.
I think it's a combination of both, man.
How close they come to the wall. They dive now into turn number 3. Trickle once again looking to the inside of Dale Earnhardt off the 4th corner. Jeff Bodine, that's how he sees the battle behind him. Earnhardt, Trickle, Kyle Petty.
You know, they call Dale Earnhardt the Intimidator, and it's no wonder why. Look at that shot. That big black Chevrolet right on your rear bumper.
I would imagine Dick Trickle's done quite a bit of intimidating over the years, too, on the short track guys around the country.
Once again, Trickle tries to get on the inside of Earnhardt, coming off 4. Not quite able to make it.
Pretty much single file racing in the back of the pack. That's why we're staying with this battle involving the first 5 cars. Everybody getting sorted out and kind of taking it easy here in the opening laps. But Dick Trickle is really putting the pressure on Dale Earnhardt. And Earnhardt, on the other hand, is pressuring Jeff Bodine. Now Trickle tries again to the inside going into turn number 1. He nearly pulled side by side, but couldn't.
It couldn't, Bob, and if there's one place on the racetrack that a second groove might work better, it's between turns 1 and 2.
Once again, Trickle. Now look, he has position this time. Going down in turn 1, side by side with Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt hanging on, though, to 3rd position for the moment.
Yeah, he was positioned better to come off of the turn, to accelerate quicker than Trickle was coming off of the turn, so he got the jump up the backstretch.
Trickle might have him this time.
Pulling fully alongside, in fact, with a bumper ahead at the start-finish line. And Dick Trickle now with a half-car length advantage going into turn 1. But Earnhardt just will not give up that 3rd position. They're still side by side as they go down the backstretch and head to turn 3. Trickle again with a half-car length advantage. Great racing here for 3rd position in the early stages of the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Oh, Earnhardt just won't let him go.
And Trickle is giving Earnhardt plenty of racing room up there. He could have gone on in that turn and brushed him a little bit and sent him high, but he didn't.
Once again, we're looking out back of Jeff Bodine's car. Now Trickle has third position. He has passed Dale Earnhardt. And now Earnhardt will be challenged by Kyle Petty in 42 as Jimmy Means spins in turn 2 but keeps going, and there's no yellow. Jimmy Means in the Alka-Seltzer Pontiac, number 52, is now lapped by Mark Martin, who is the leader of this race after a spin in turn number 2. There is Martin leading, and you can see the advantage he has on second place, Jeff Bodine in number 11. And there's the battle for fourth spot. Make that fifth position.
You know, Earnhardt, I think he's going high on the racetrack. His car just not handling as well as his car normally does at this racetrack. Does it look like that to you?
No, it doesn't. Benny normally is able to take that Goodwrench Chevrolet just about anywhere he wants to, but not today so far. But I'm sure when they make a pit stop, they'll work on it a little bit.
And the number 7 car of Alan Kulwicki and the 21 car of Dale Jarrett are in a heated battle for position. Back in the pack.
Brett Bodine in the 26 trying to move around. Ernie Irvin in the car number 4.
And here once again is Kyle Petty and Dale Earnhardt battling it out for fifth spot, and Kyle Petty takes away the position. So Earnhardt is dropping back here just a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily anything wrong with the car, but he has lost a couple of positions in the last 5 laps. Now the 11 and 66 cars begin to battle for second position as Dick Trickle is really showing a lot of muscle here in the early stages of this race. He thinks perhaps this is his best chance ever to win a Winston Cup race. He started in third position. That's where he's running right now behind the number 11 car. Second place, Jeff Bodine. Oh, they nearly touched coming off the fourth corner.
And now we have cameras that can look at each other. Just swing Jeff's car camera over and look at Dick Trickle as he goes by. He has position on Bodine. They're side by side.
And Trickle is going to go into second position as they enter turn number 3. Dick Trickle from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin is in second position now. And ahead about a half a straightaway is Mark Martin, the leader of this race. The 17 car of Darrell Waltrip and the 25 of Ken Schrader. Here the Hendry cars once again. They've been running nose to tail for the last several laps, except now Darrell Waltrip has been able to pass Ken Schrader. Well, Jerry Punch is with a member of Dale Earnhardt's crew, Richard Childress. He's been falling back a couple of positions here in the most recent laps. Jerry, what's the story?
Well, they've been doing a little bit of figuring here in the pits, and it's quite noisy as you hear. Richard, what's the problem? The car's not running real well right now.
Well, that's the tires we qualified with, and that set of tires were pretty loose, so we're hoping when we change tires, put a little wedge in the car, we'll be all right when he comes back.
Did the weather have a factor on how well the car's running? A lot of guys are loose right now.
Yeah, I think the weather's the biggest, was the whole difference. It rained a little last night, plus the sun's out now, and it wasn't just the evening.
A lot of people are going to make some major adjustments when they get that first pit stop here under caution. Bob?
All right, Dale Earnhardt, there you see he has 3 wins here at North Wilkesboro. He has fallen back to 6th position at the moment, however. The lead continues to be held by Mark Martin in car number 6. Second position is the 66 car of Dick Trickle.
Now here's a battle going on back there. Brett Bodine just moved around Ernie Irvin. Then came Jimmy Spencer in car number 57. And here comes the
27
car number 27 of Rusty Wallace making a pass as well. So Ernie Irvin lost a lot of positions. Here's the car number 75, the Dinner Bell car of Rick Wilson down on the inside. And once he got up on the outside, boy, he went backwards.
And the number 28 car of Davey Allison is right there. And the guy we talked with just before the race started, Morgan Shepherd in car number 15.
This is a great race. 4 cars side by side going down in turn 1. Rick Wilson trying desperately to get by Ernie. Can't make the pass. They're still side by side.
Well, you can listen to your favorite driver share his thoughts about his personal life and his racing career. Sports 1-900 number. Now we have 5 drivers and 1 car owner participating. Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Junior Johnson, Darrell Waltrip. The phone number is 1-900-226-1000. It costs $1.95 for the first minute and then $1 for each additional minute. 1-900-226-1000. You can hear your favorite driver share his thoughts about his personal life and his racing career.
While you were talking about that, Davey Allison made a very, very impressive move. He passed 2 cars in 1 corner. Now Morgan Shepherd has been able to get by Rick Wilson. Here comes Bill Elliott. The red and white number 9, that's Bill Elliott, and Michael Waltrip, the blue and yellow number 30 alongside the 4 of Ernie Irvin. And then comes Richard Petty, Harry Gant, Dave Marcus. Great racing down the front straightaway of North Wilkesboro.
Michael Waltrip pulling alongside now the number 9 car of Bill Elliott, and some incentive for that number 30 driver, Michael Waltrip. His car owner has offered him a brand new Corvette if he can take away the victory here this afternoon.
Well, it's neat, these incentives these car owners are giving drivers nowadays. I didn't have that when I was driving race cars. How about you, Benny?
No, they're going to give me a free meal if I want.
Now Michael Waltrip has completed the pass on Bill Elliott. It's still Mark Martin in car number 6 leading the way. He's about to lap Terry Cope in car number 10. We're at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina for the First Union 400. Ron, turn down the programming in my headset even more. It's terrible. Oh, it's way loud.
Kowicki's going up through the field pretty good.
Welcome back to North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, and the First Union 400 Winston Cup race. Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, in the Folgers Ford car number 6 is leading the race at the moment. In second position, there he is, number 66, Dick Trickle. Here comes the battle for third position. That is the number 42 of Kyle Petty, and also the number 11 car of Jeff Bodine, as they slug it out for that third position.
Bodine's car is not working to his liking either. He's still running good, but I think he had hoped to be able to stay right up there with Mark Martin, but he's dropping back a little.
Talk about incentives. Michael Waltrip to win a Corvette. Jeff Bodine can pick up $30,400 today because he won the pole position, the Unical Challenge. You know, the money put up by Union 76 gasoline people worth $30,400 if the pole winner can win the race today.
Which, of course, is Mark Martin.
And I could probably buy a Corvette. Wouldn't he, Bob?
Yeah, probably could. Come close, at least. Darrell Waltrip, meanwhile, is really showing some good strength here in the number 17 car, as now he has caught the number 11 car of Bodine.
You're right. Darrell is running 5th, but the third place car, Kyle Petty, just in front of him, just 2 car lengths away.
Waltrip has 9 wins here on this racetrack, including 5 in a row in the years 1981 through 1984. Watching from Jeff Bodine's car, ahead is Kyle Petty in third position.
Darrell looks on the inside of Bodine. Can't quite make the pass going off turn 4.
Now here comes Waltrip looking to the inside. They get very close to each other as they exit corner number 2. Waltrip running in 5th spot now in the Tide Chevrolet. Back up front, it is Mark Martin who is continuing to lead this race, and he has things pretty well in hand at the moment. Jerry Punch is with Steve Meal.
Bob, a minute ago we mentioned the weather and made a big difference in setting a chassis up. A lot of teams may have guessed wrong. Now, Steve, you were the last car to be pushed onto the starting grid. You were changing a bunch of things because of this hot weather. What all did you change?
Well, we're worried about the sun loosening the racetrack up. We run Friday and Saturday under real heavy overcast, so we thought it'd get real loose. We've rolled the dice, and I guess we're pretty good so far, but we've had the luxury of starting up front and had to race anybody. So maybe when we get a caution, the other guys adjust on their cars, they might come up and beat us. So right now, we're just going to enjoy what we got.
They changed sway bar, spring, spoiler, and the rear end gear before the race today, and apparently they guessed right in every instant.
But Mark Martin's work is cut out for him. He is just starting to lap the cars. There we see the Ernie Irvin Kodak Film Oldsmobile going a lap down. And right in front of Mark, look, we see the 5 or 6 cars in front of Mark. Now we're back to the third place car of Kyle Petty, 4th, Jeff Bodine in the red number 11, and Darrell Waltrip, the orange and white number 17.
Waltrip just having a terrific day, and now here's Alan Kowicki and Sterling Marlin battling side by side.
Now, Alan Kowicki has been coming up through the field pretty good, Bob. He started in the 10th position, but he dropped back to about 12th on the start, but now he's moved back up, moved into 7th position.
So a good run for Alan Kowicki, one of those that we mentioned at the top of the show that has not had a very good season in 1990, trying to turn things around here at North Wilkesboro. Here are Ricky Rudd and Ken Schrader side by side, and now here comes the 15 of Morgan Shepherd.
There's some more cars that have had some good runs. Morgan Shepherd started back past 20. Rusty Wallace and Davey Allison started in the back of the pack. They're making their way towards the front.
25 cars are currently running on the lead lap of the 32 that began the first Union 400 about 20 minutes ago.
That was impressive what Morgan Shepherd did coming off the second corner. Just pulled up on the inside of Rick. And look, Rudd might have a problem because he is off the pace.
Indeed, Rusty Wallace passes him and Ken Schrader. I don't know what happened there, but
I believe it's just a matter of him not being able to get traction coming off the turns.
Well,
Davey Allison goes by.
Davey Allison moving to the inside and passing Rudd in car number 5. Here comes Schrader in the 25, and Michael Waltrip joins the battle in number 30.
Rudd's car just won't stay down on the low side of the racetrack, and especially coming off the turn, you can see it slip up high. He's just not getting traction. Michael Waltrip making a pass on the outside of Kenny Schrader.
That's the first time we've seen that done all day.
Yep.
Good run for Michael Waltrip, and now the leader is in heavy traffic as he sneaks up on the number 33 car of Harry Gant. There's the bumper cam on Gant's car. Gant is currently running in 22nd position, and Mark Martin is trying to put him a lap down.
Now this traffic that he's running into now is going to be tougher to pass than some of those that he has caught earlier, even though he has the advantage of the passing flag when he gets to the start-finish line.
The 75 car of Rick Wilson goes a lap down. The yellow car on the right. Let's go to Jerry Punch with an update on Ricky Rudd.
Well, gentlemen, you guessed exactly correct, Dan Jarrett. Rudd's problem is what a lot of drivers are fighting right now, including Dale Earnhardt and a few others. A very, very loose race car. The weather and the sun today has created a problem for him. I just spoke with crew chief Waddell Wilson. He said, hey, we get a pit stop, we'll be okay. But for right now, Rudd's going to bide his time and really tiptoe into the corners here and not spin the car out.
But he can't afford to bide his time too long, Jerry, because Mark Martin's coming up not too far behind him. He'll go a lap down in another 15 or so laps if he can't pick up the speed a little bit.
Number 11 and the number 17 cars are in a battle for position. Now this is for 4th place. I'm very impressed with Darrell Waltrip's move so far in this race. He, as we indicated, was the fastest during the final practice session yesterday afternoon. A lot different weather conditions then than now, but nevertheless, Waltrip is having one of his best runs of the year.
And especially on radial tires. Jeff Hammond, his crew chief, told me at Darlington that they just simply have not been able to get the handle on the radial tires, but they've done a lot of work, a lot of testing since then, and this is the best that he has looked on radial tires.
You know, the strange thing is last year in North Wilkesboro, this very event was the first time that Goodyear used the radial tire. Darrell Waltrip lost a cylinder early on, but was still the fastest car here on 7 cylinders with radial tires. It looked like the Razors was going to play right into his hands, but he, as Ned said, he's had a lot of trouble this year trying to get him going. But he's on the inside of Bodine now. Looks like he's got things well in hand.
He's looking for 4th position. Great shot from Jeff Bodine's in-car camera as he's got a stripe on Darrell Waltrip's car. There you can see DW working the wheel coming off the 4th corner, still looking for 4th spot. He's got it at the line. Darrell Waltrip goes to 4th position, and Jeff Bodine drops back to 5th. Jerry Punch is with Jeff Hammond, the crew chief, on Darrell's car.
Well, Jeffrey's talking to Darrell right now. And Jeff, we're just talking upstairs. You guys have been working to try to get the handle on the radials, and apparently after this last session yesterday and what you're doing right now, you found the handle.
Well, right now, Jerry, it's real early in the race to say. You know, Mark Martin is really looking strong out front. We're having to kind of work our way through traffic, but right now everything seems to be going pretty well. Just, you know, it's, like I say, so early in the race, the car seems to be working real well. We don't have to make very many adjustments to pick up enough speed to run with Mark. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
A veteran crew chief, Jeff Hammond, and a veteran driver, they predicted what was going to happen with the weather and the radial tires, and they predicted correctly.
They may have hit on the right combination. Darrell Waltrip at number 17 runs 4th in the first Union 400. The leader is Mark Martin in car number 6. Dick Trickle is second, followed by Kyle Petty, then Waltrip, then Bodine. Back after these messages. oh baby, we are rocking and rolling.
Trickle is gaining.
Winston Cup replay. Okay. Winston Cup replays are brought to you by Purolator, the world's largest filter company. Race 7 of the 1989 season at North Wilkesboro marked the debut of the new Goodyear radials. Rusty Wallace started from the pole on Hoosiers, while Dale Earnhardt was on the Goodyears. A tangle in turn 4 between Brett Bodine and Michael Waltrip seemed harmless. Then Rick Wilson, running without brakes, barreled into Waltrip's stopped car. There were typical short track skirmishes here between Jeff Bodine and Alan Kowicki. Then Dale Earnhardt and Ricky Rudd swapped some paint. Phil Elliott tapped Rookie of the Year hopeful Dick Trickle into a slide. Earnhardt rolled on the radios for his first win of '89 and jumped from 4th to 1st in Winston Cup points. And that's where Dale Earnhardt is currently in the Winston Cup points. First, however, on the racetrack right now, he is running 6th. Morgan Shepherd, second in Winston Cup points, is 11th. Mark Martin is the leader of this race. He's 3rd in Winston Cup points. Kyle Petty is running 3rd, and Jeff Bodine is running in 5th position, and he's 5th in the Winston Cup points. There is Mark Martin. He has just put a lap on Dale Jarrett in car number 21, and now there are 16 cars on the lead lap.
And the next car that Mark Martin's going to be looking at is the 57 car of Jimmy Spencer, the Heinz 57 Pontiac. But he's about a straightaway ahead of Mark. Maybe he can save that lap.
The first car that we've seen come into the pits was Rick Wilson. He just made a pit stop for a change of right side tires on the Denver.
Oh, Brett Bodine nearly spins it as he's tapped by Morgan Shepherd in car number 15. That's Derek Cope in the number 10 car, running a slower pace to the inside of the track. Davey Allison right behind Morgan Shepherd. Let's go down to John Kernan, who's with Donnie Wingo in Morgan Shepherd's car.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bob. Donnie Wingo, the car has got to be running great. You moved up about 10 positions already early on in the race. I guess you hit the setup, made the right guess on this track.
Yeah, we kind of got the car set up for a long run. We figured there wouldn't be too many cautions in the early going. Right now, we're just trying to keep Mark behind us and stay in the lead lap.
How's Morgan's backfield?
He's a lot better this morning. He seems to be okay. He says he's fine.
Well, it looks like Morgan Shepherd is on the move again. Back to the guy.
Well, I tell you, John, while you were doing that interview, Morgan almost lost it. He and Brett Bodine are just slugging it out there on the racetrack. Brett tapped him coming off the second corner, and boy, Morgan did all he could to save it from spinning, and another encounter between the two coming off the fourth corner.
Yeah, they were going at it a little bit. When Morgan was behind Brett, they had a couple of taps, and I guess Brett said, well, I can play that game too. But now Morgan's far enough out in front of him, I don't think he has to worry about it.
Let's replay that and show you some of this tight short track action. Here is Bodine on the inside.
And he gives Morgan a little tap, gets him completely crossways. I'll tell you, Morgan Shepherd did a whale of a job of hanging on to that car and not spinning it out.
I tell you what, if his back wasn't hurting, he had a heart attack right there, because he just about spun that automobile.
So now Michael Waltrip, at number 30, moves in on the inside to challenge Brett Bodine. Ricky Rudd may be having a problem. John, or Brett Bodine might. John, what's the story down there?
Well, I just talked to Larry McReynolds, the crew chief on Brett Bodine's car, and he says that Brett is a little bit loose right now, but they've told him to back it off just a little bit and save the tires, and hopefully they can get in here for a pit stop and get the car right.
Yeah, he has backed off considerably now. He was challenging with Morgan Shepherd, but now has dropped back a position, and he has Michael Waltrip between himself and Morgan. So a lot of drivers are hoping for a yellow here that would allow them to come in and get some chassis adjustments made.
You saw some smoke just a moment ago coming off the fourth corner. That was Butch Miller. Looked like the engine let go in his automobile. You'll see him sitting on pit road with a lot of smoke coming out front of the car.
Butch Miller in the Planters Peanuts Lowe's food car. Brett Bodine in the number 26 Quaker State car. There you can see his short track results. He's being challenged right now by Davey Allison in car number 28, who won at Bristol just 2 weeks ago.
Davey's car is working well down on the inside. Well, got a little loose that time. You can see Brett's car drift up just a little bit as he went into the turn. Davey will try him again going into turn 3. Couldn't do it this time either.
Brett holding off the challenge for the moment. Ken Schrader is in for a pit stop. Jerry Punch reports.
Well, after qualifying 6, the car was dropping back, and they wasn't sure whether the car was just getting very, very loose, or they possibly had a tire going down. So Schrader ready to this, and rather than take a chance and lose a brand new race car, he would come in and change 2 right side tires. He is down and away.
Just right sides as Ken Schrader goes back now. Allison and Brett Bodine continue their battle for position, and Davey, I believe, is going to grab it away. And he's battling for 11th spot at the moment. Allison and Brett Bodine, and yes, Davey Allison has 11th position. And now Rusty Wallace has his hands full with the number 1 car of Terry Labonte. That's on the right side of your screen there.
Now this yellow car, the number 75 of Rick Wilson, has made a pit stop. He has on pressure tires, and you can see how much of a difference it makes.
I just clocked Martin Martin, the pole winner, and as Bob said at the earlier part of the race, there's Martin Martin. He qualified, folks, at 19.16 seconds or something like that. He is now running 21.15 seconds, so he has slowed down 2 seconds from his qualifying speed. And that's why these guys are going to be going in to change tires, because they're slowing down so much. We mentioned they can run 175 laps on a tank of gas, but their tires just won't get adhesion for that long.
Yeah, fuel will not be a problem here this afternoon.
No, it won't.
Dick Trickle, he's having a bit of a problem there in the second corner. He's looking ahead toward Harry Gand in the Skoll Oldsmobile, and there is the shot from Harry's bumper can back to Trickle.
And we remember when Mark Martin lapped Harry Gant several laps ago, so that's how much of a lead that Martin Martin has on the second place runner, Dick Trickle.
Mark Martin just making a shambles of the race so far, dominating it to this point. We're showing you the interval now, and there it is, a comfortable lead, a little more than a half straightaway advantage for Mark Martin over the second place car of Dick Trickle.
Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt keeps drifting back. He's up on the high side. Watch this. Terry Labonte goes by. Brett Bodine trying to go by. Earnhardt dramatically off the pace now.
Dale Earnhardt started this race in 4th position, and he is falling back greatly. He is now back to 11th. Dale Earnhardt back to 11th spot.
And losing position as we speak, because there goes the, what is that, the 27 car of Rusty Wallace by.
That number is very difficult to read on Rusty's car, isn't it?
It sure is.
And that's Derek Cope also right there at car number 10.
And he just made a pit stop a couple laps ago, has some new tires on the right side, and you'll see what a difference it makes, especially coming off the turns.
Boy, Derek can't wait for 2 weeks from today, and neither can I for that matter. That's when we'll be in Talladega Super Speedway for Super Speedway racing, and Derek Cope has high hopes for that race.
Look, Darrell Waltrip has caught Derek Cope. Darrell Waltrip has caught Dick Trickle. Thank you, Bob.
For second position, Waltrip now right on the back bumper of the Club Audi Pontiac driven by Trickle.
And Dale Earnhardt just went a lap down to Mark Martin while we're watching this battle.
Waltrip moving to the outside.
We need 1,000 cameras to cover all the action now, wouldn't we, Ned?
Yes, we would. Lots of it all over the racetrack.
Boy, Waltrip has to be feeling really secure at this moment. Challenging Dick Trickle for second. Down the backstretch. He'll look to the inside at the end of the backstretch, but fall in right behind Trickle now.
And when you say right behind, you're right. He is right behind Dick Trickle.
And there's trouble up in turn 4.
Dale Jarrett spinning in the 4th corner, number 21.
And the caution is out. The caution is out. The much-needed caution flag is out.
This is what the drivers have been waiting on. Dale looped it down in the 4th corner, didn't hit anything, kept going, but it does bring out our second caution flag of the day.
And Dale Earnhardt was just lapped 1 lap ago. And the next car to be lapped was Rusty Wallace. He saved being a lap down, but Dale Earnhardt a lap down. Business is going to pick up now, folks.
Ooh, watch pit road. It's going to be a zoo. We're already a fourth of the way through this race. 100 laps have been completed. 13 cars are on the lead lap, and as Benny said, 13th position at the moment belonging to Rusty Wallace, and the pace car has picked up the field, and that means that pit road is open. And watch the flurry of activity as here they come. This is the crew cam being held by the guy that holds the stop and go sign, the NASCAR official at the end of pit road. This should give us some great shots as the cars move out of the pit area. You can see how busy it's becoming. Jerry Punch is in Mark Martin's pit.
They are scampering around the Folgers Ford here. It'll be a 4-tire change. A lot of people were really excited about seeing this yellow flag come out, and they are making an adjustment on the chassis in the Mark Martin car. Let's check in with John Kernan. John?
Well, we're down here. Brett Bodine's crew is going busy to work on the right side. They've got the tires on and tightening up the lug nuts now coming around to the left side. Tires coming up, and they're going for a 4-tire change. Michael Walton also a 4-tire change, and Morgan Shepherd in the pit behind a 4-tire change. Morgan Shepherd beats Waldron and Brett Bodine out. Brett, just a little bit of trouble. He was boxed in just a little bit by Michael Waldron. That kept him from getting out fast. And now down to Jerry Punch in Labonte's pit.
Terry Labonte is running to get his car out. There was a lot of cars that got boxed in here on pit road, and it cost some people some valuable time. Alan Kowicki was one of them, but everyone has been in and out with a 4-tire change, so it should be a totally different picture when they go back to green.
Oh, I tell you what, pit road is really cramped down there. A lot of short tracks, you'll see pits on the front stretch and the back stretch. Here at North Wilkesboro, all 32 of them are here on the front stretch, and they go all the way from the middle of turn 33 to the middle of turn number 1. Let's go back down to the pits.
Richard Petty, you're talking about how crowded pit lane is here, Bob. Richard came in, he was boxed in coming down the pit lane. He could not get into his pit. He had to leave through all the busyness going on down the pit road, come around, make another lap, and now Richard has come in and finally taken on 4 tires, and he's away.
He has some body damage there on the right front corner of that car, sustained in the earlier yellow flag that we had. We're under yellow for the second time this afternoon because of a spin down between turns 3 and 4 involving Dale Jarrett. Back in a moment.
His down in Jerry's area, Terry Labonte's car, we've heard on the radio, has no front brakes. I don't know if he's aware of that. I think maybe I just had it down just a little bit too low that time, is what the problem was. Okay.
Dun 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 dun.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Getting set to go back to green after our second caution of the day from North Wilkesboro Speedway. The green flag is out on lap 105. We're back to racing, and Dale Earnhardt in car number 3 is trying to get his lap back. He went down a lap just before that caution period, and now he is indeed on the same lap, and a battle for the lead develops as Darrell Waltrip at number 17 passes Mark Martin for the lead.
Wow, he made that look easy. Both those. Mark Martin's car just not getting up to speed like he did earlier on in the race.
Darrell Waltrip, the most popular driver in NASCAR Winston Cup competition last year, and from the crowd here in the main grandstand, you can believe it, they were up on their feet cheering for Waltrip as he shot by Martin to take the lead.
And Dick Trickle, the 66 car, the red car back there, hung up on the outside trying to get by Ricky Rudd, who was a lap down, and Mike Alexander in the Ray-Bested Buick also a lap down. And Dick Trickle had a problem trying to get by these cars.
Tough up there on the outside.
It is tough plowing up there.
Darrell Waltrip now is in the lead of the first Union 400. We're watching from Dick Trickle's Phillips 66 in-car camera. The action just ahead involving Ricky Rudd in the Levi Garrett car and Mike Alexander. They are side by side. Now, neither of those cars are on the lead lap. Here comes Trickle trying to move to the inside of Mike Alexander, unable to do so.
Trickle dove in that corner trying to get in that hole that Ricky Rudd had opened and just couldn't get there quite in time. Mark Martin just not able to catch. Ricky Rudd trying to get by Mark Martin.
I don't think Martin is running nearly as well as he was before that pit stop. Let's take a look at Darrell Waltrip's most recent pit stop. Our Big A Auto Parts pit stop performance report showed it took the driver 14.7 seconds to slow down and speed up. The crew, it took 20.2 seconds to change the tires and refuel the car for a total of 34.9 seconds total time for Darrell Waltrip. What did that mean in terms of track position? Well, he came in third, and he came out of the pits in first position. Battle for second position now, beginning to heat up just a little bit.
Actually, I believe he came out in second, and then he took first right after that, didn't he?
There's the number 6 car of Mark Martin and the 66 off Dick Trickle as Trickle closes in on Martin.
You know, if we were running bi-ply tires, we would say that Mark Martin got a bad tire size, you know, that the stagger's wrong. But the radial tires, it doesn't make any difference. So I can't imagine what kind of problems that Mark might be having now.
He's not nearly as fast as he was, though, before that caution period, because he had pulled away from Etrani, and now Waltrip is pulling away from him.
Well, maybe if Waltrip is running faster, then he had begun to gain on Mark Martin some, so he has his car dialed in pretty well.
Harry Gant at number 33 has been lapped. Let's go down to Jerry Punch, who's with Robin Pemberton.
Well, Robin, Mark is not as quick as he was before the pit stop. Is there a problem?
No, there's no problem. We led 100 laps, which is real good for us. We're just taking a conservative approach right now. There's a lot of people trying to get their laps back, and we'd like to finish the race. If you're real aggressive right now, you may get into trouble.
They don't want to use the car up, Bob.
Very good point. This is short track competition, and you can get yourself in trouble. Mark Martin taking it easy at the moment, however, remaining in that second position. Darrell Waltrip is the leader, and there is the interval between first and second place as Darrell Waltrip now tries to put a lap on the number 5 car of Ricky Rudd. Well, after coming into the season with such high expectations and getting off to a relatively poor start, Darrell, you ever think about retiring from this game?
I can't tell you how annoyed and how angry I get when people say to me, I'm 43 years old, I'm racing against guys out there that are doing a good job that are a lot older than I am, and I'm beating most of the guys that are a lot younger than I am. I don't know where people get the opinion or the impression. If I've left this impression, folks, I want to get it out. I want to tell you right now, I don't go out there and ride around. I don't go out there and play. I don't go out there with one thing in mind, and that's to win. When I'm not running up front, and when I'm not gouging with the best of them, and when I'm not intimidating better than anybody, there's something wrong with that race car. Ain't nothing wrong with Darrell Waltrip. I want to race, I want to win, and I want to run up front more than anybody does. You can believe that. And at 43 years old, I'm going to be around for a while yet, folks, so don't ask me every time you see me, when am I going to quit? I want to win $20 million in 150 races.
I just wish he could be a little bit more emphatic.
Yeah, I wish
Where does he really stand?
Spoken his mind there. Well, he certainly doesn't look like a driver who is near retirement at the moment. He has taken the number 17 Tide Chevrolet to the front of this field and currently leads the First Union 400. We're at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway, and we completed 120 of 400 laps. Okay. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parson, Ned Jarrett, Dr. Jerry Punch, and John Kernan back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway for the First Union 400. Again, you can listen to your favorite driver share his thoughts about his personal life and his racing career by dialing 1-900-226-1000. Our Sports One system, $1.95 for the first minute, $1 for each additional minute. You can talk to Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Junior Johnson, or Darrell Waltrip. You can hear from them. So 100, it's 1-900-226-1000. And children, please get your permission from your parents before you start dialing the phone.
It's just amazing to me how that Ricky Rudd was lapped in 90 laps, and now he's outrunning everybody there on the racetrack except Dale Earnhardt, who was lapped in 80 or 90 laps, and he's the fastest car on the racetrack. Things have just made a 180-degree switch since our last pit stop. Look, Mike Alexander is trying to stay in front of Mark Martin and try to get a lap back. He is also lapped, and here's Dick Trickle, the car running third.
Other battles in the racetrack include the number 11 car of Bodine, the 94 of Marlin, the 42 of Kyle Petty, and the 15 of Morgan Shepherd. This is for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place.
Great run for Sterling Marlin. He goes by Kyle Petty. This is looking inside the Budweiser Ford of Jeff Bodine.
Let's go to John Curtin, who's with Steve Lloyd from, we have a spin here on the main stretch. It's Ken Schrader, and I thought he was going to save it. He did a complete spin around, but at the last moment came in contact with the inside wall here on the front stretch. However, Schrader keeps going. It wasn't hard contact by any means, but it does bring out another caution period, our third of the day.
And it's a break for Ricky Rudd and Dale Earnhardt. However, they had passed Darrell Waltrip and well out in front of him, but it puts them right back in the thick of things.
It sure does. Both Earnhardt and Ricky Rudd, who had gone laps down, now are back on the lead lap. So caution number 3 comes on lap number 127. It's still Darrell Waltrip leading Mark Martin and Dick Trickle here at North Wilkesboro. We'll be back with more right after this. Schrader get bumped?
I think him and Spencer got together.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
How many laps they run in, Kenny? How many laps they run on the green there? Surprised DW didn't pit.
Yeah.
Those things slowing down 2 seconds a lap.
Trickle didn't either.
No.
Or Morgan.
But Ricky and Earnhardt did, right?
Yeah, of course, they didn't have much to lose. So they
yeah, but see what a tremendous advantage that is. I mean, they go from it.
Okay. Welcome back to the Brushy Mountains in the northwestern portion of North Carolina, North Wilkesboro Speedway. We're covering the First Union 400 Winston Cup race. Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you by the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. By Budweiser Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by BMW Motorcycles, worth the obsession. Here the top 10 of the end of 129 laps. It's Darrell Waltrip, followed by Dick Trickle, Morgan Shepherd, Alan Kowicki, and Michael Waltrip. Running 6 through 10, Jeff Bodine, Terry Labonte, Rusty Wallace is 8th, Sterling Marlin is 9th, and Mark Martin is in 10th position. We are under our third caution of the day because of an incident here on the main straightaway involving Ken Schrader. And from our speed shot at the start-finish line, we perhaps can see what happened.
He's out of shape coming down the front straightaway. That's Jimmy Spencer on the inside. They might have tangled just a little bit as they came off of turn 4, Bob.
Schrader slid almost all the way down toward the first turn and bumped the inside wall at the last moment.
Now, if the fans wonder why Mark Martin went from 2nd to 10th, he made a pit stop during this caution. Darrell Waltrip and several others did not.
Waltrip and Dick Trickle running first and second did not make pit stops. Are you guys surprised that they did not come in for a change of rubber on that stop?
Not really, because track position is so doggone important. Not having to race those cars is the main thing. And Darrell Waltrip right now doesn't have to race with the stall. Look how much Dick Trickle, what kind of problems he's having trying to pass Harry again. As we're looking at Trickle's car from the bumper cam on Harry Gant's automobile.
And Trickle sneaking right up on the back bumper of that Oldsmobile driven by Harry Gant. Trickle in second position. Harry using a slightly higher line than Trickle through the corners. Let's go to Jerry Punt. Jerry, what was the situation regarding Ken Schrader?
Well, the reason Schrader spun, Bob, was because of an incident in the pits that happened early in the race. We talked about how crowded it was down here and getting boxed in. He came into contact with the Alvin Kowicki car, was pitted just in front of him, and it knocked his front end out of line. The car is towed in. He cannot turn the car in the corner. The car is bobbing and weaving even on the straightaway.
Down in turn 2.
Jerry, we got a mess down in turn number 2, triggered when Jeff Bodine spun, but Ricky Rudd is involved, so is Bill Elliott and Ken Schrader once again. There we have the in-car camera on Jeff Bodine's car. He gets it headed the right direction and pulls away from the scene of the crash. And Bill Elliott is the only one who hasn't gotten refired. His number 9 Coors Mellingford is still at the bottom of the racetrack in turn number 2. So another caution period. 4 now have flown over North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway here in the first half of this 400-lapper. We'll be back right after this. Yeah, he's
see, now that's one of the reasons that Darrell Waltrip did not pit, just because of that. So we can, we need to talk about that a little bit.
Can you know, the reason I'm just being told that the reason Bodine has a problem is that very similar to what happened to Schrader. As Bodine was exiting the pits a little bit ago, he hit a tire that was rolled loose from a car that's pitting around him and bent the toe in on the car, so he's having trouble driving it too, and apparently went in the corner and spun it.
Okay.
That's what Beecher just told me.
Okay. We are under caution, but we'll be going back to green flag racing in just a moment. We will show you the reason why we are under a caution. Now, this is Jeff Bodine, and he's going to spin as the car goes into turn number 1.
He's right up on the back bumper of Jimmy Spencer in car number 57, but all of a sudden the back end of the Budweiser Ford just went out from under him, and you can see cars going by on the inside and trying to dodge around. There's Bill Elliott, Ricky Rudd down the yellow car.
And here is the way it looked from our vantage point here on the main straightaway.
Well, we see why he got the back end went around. Sterling Marlin clipped him as he went into the turn and sent him around.
Kyle Petty just barely missing, and there is Bill Elliott and Ricky Rudd spinning to avoid Jeff Bodine. The green flag is out once again. We're back to racing on lap 138. Darrell Waltrip continues to lead. The 66 of Dick Trickle is running second, and Morgan Shepherd is in third spot. Harry Gant in number 33 is a lap down. He's positioned between first and second. And here is our in-camera and car camera once again carried by Trickle, and the bumper cam on Gant's machine. Dale Earnhardt, how is he doing? Well, he's back in the middle of the pack, shown in 10th position at the moment, but remember, he was a lap down not too long ago. He is now, however, back on the lead lap, and not too far ahead of Dale Earnhardt is the guy that sat on the pole and led the opening laps of this race, Mark Martin in car number 6. He's right behind Sterling Marlin, and look at this traffic.
Boy, it is heavy. Martin just can't go anywhere out there. He's boxed in.
He and Dale Jarrett
nowhere to go.
a little bit coming off the second corner.
A little bit of contact between Jarrett and Mark Martin. Now Earnhardt trying to go to the outside now of Dale Jarrett's car. We've seen a lot of bumping and banging going on out there so far today, but nothing that I would call blatant or intentional by any means.
No, nothing intentional at all. There's, you know, you're just getting tight spots out there, and sometimes they bump together.
We heard Dick Beatty explain at the very opening of the show that they're going to be watching. They have talked to the competitors who were involved in the skirmishes at Bristol 2 weeks ago. They're watching very closely and will indeed hand out some fines if they think that anything was intentional out there on the racetrack.
Sterling Marlin going by the Mike Alexander car. That's the 6 car. The maroon car is Mark Martin, and the 3 car, Dale Earnhardt, passing Ernie Irvin. That's the yellow 4.
He's a lap down, shown in 20th position at the moment. Mike Alexander is in 19th in car number 12. Mike was one of the provisional starters. That's Bobby Allison for Vestas Buick. And now a battle for second position as Morgan Shepherd in the Motorcraft Ford, prepared by Bud Moore, is challenging Dick Trickle for second.
That's amazing. He would try to make that pass on the outside because it looked like early in the race he could not run on the outside at all. But here he is pulling alongside Trickle on the outside. He's not able to make the pass, but I thought Morgan Shepherd was destined to be on the rail on the inside all day.
Well, the car seems to be working well for him, Denny, and I expect Bud Moore would be running a higher gear than a lot of the teams out here. And, of course, the higher groove would be a good place to run. If you do have a high gear and the track gets slicker, that high gear will work better for you.
Trickle and Morgan Shepherd now being watched by our bumper cam. The 27 car of Rusty Wallace is right behind Alan Kowicki, and this is for 5th position. Rusty's having a good run today.
Yes, he started very far back in the field in 22nd position, but he is having a good run.
There is Dale Earnhardt.
He's on the inside of Mark Martin going down the back straight where the fans jumped up, thought he had passed the pole sitter, but the pole sitter used the 75 car as a pick. Rick Wilson and was able to keep Earnhardt behind him for another lap anyway.
There's Jeff Bodine in number 11 and the 5 car of Ricky Rudd.
Now, they both made pit stops after those spins. They are still in the lead lap, so making their way back up through the pack.
Jeff Bodine trying to go by his younger brother. That's brothers, folks. The green 26, the red 11. The 11 car is the older brother, the green car the younger.
This is 11th, 12th, and 13th position here. Jeff has just gone in to 11, and now the battle for 12th is won by Ricky Rudd. And Brett falls back to 13.
Rudd's another car that had trouble earlier on, but running awfully well now.
You can see a lot of battle scars already. And Jerry Punch has a report on the number 11 car.
Well, gentlemen, Tim Brewer, the crew chief, just told me a minute ago, they're pretty pleased with the way the car is running now, given the fact that they had a problem in the pit.
There's trouble in turn 2.
Jerry, just as you start giving reports, it seems we have problems on the racetrack. This one involves Sterling Marlin and Jimmy Spencer, and a lot of damaged sheet metal out there from this incident over in turn number 2. There you see Jimmy Spencer, the number 57 car, beginning to pull away. There's a lot of damage to that car, and Sterling Marlin's machine is parked against the outside wall just off the second corner.
Now, we figured out those guys, when they want caution flags there, it was a long time ago. We were talking about needing caution flags. All we got to do is go to Jerry for a report down there.
That seems like it. Here it is again.
The 57 car spins, and I tell you what, Earnhardt just gets by. The 6 car Mark Martin just gets by. But Sterling Marlin went down on the inside, caught the grass, turned the car. He went in the wall hard with the left side.
Bobby Hillen did some agricultural racing, taking his number 8 car through the grass on the inside of the racetrack. And there is Jimmy Spencer's car, number 57. And a lot of pit stops being made. Jerry Punches in Darrell Waltrip's pit. But Darrell did not come in, Jerry.
Well, Darrell's crew is here waiting on him. A lot of people were expecting Darrell to come in, as were Mark Martin and some of the guys. But some of the other cars that have made a pit stop Labonte is in, as is the Dick Trickle car. They came in for a 4-tire change. So apparently the car number 15 is in. That is, of course, is Morgan Shepherd in the Motorcraft Ford. Left 5 tires going on that car. Alan Kawicki likewise getting a tire change. Here again coming down pit road. Let's look at John Turner.
Well, Jimmy Spencer is hit shuttling with the front end and the right front quarter panel. They're tearing the sheet metal away. They're also tearing the sheet metal away from the front of the radiator. And their work, they've got some work cut out for them as they try to get that right front quarter panel off. Now they're going to get him out and bring him back around likely, because here comes the pace car.
Boy, that thing is a mess. And you see the shock absorber dangling from the right side of the car there.
And they put part of the sheet metal in the right door,
Yeah.
it looks like. They haul it around there a lap or two, Jimmy, so we'll get caught up.
So we're under caution once again, this one because of an accident over in turn number 2 between Jimmy Spencer and number 57 and Sterling Marlin, whose car is parked against the outside wall. We'll be back.
The what?
Yeah, well, it forms sheet metal, yeah.
They're going to be using some of that next week, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that, where did he get the nose of that car? Did he get the 94s he went by and turned him like that? Is that where all that damage came from on that car?
I don't know. Well, the 94 hit him, yeah. See, Spencer spun first.
I know, but where did he get all the damage in front?
I think the 94 flipped him when he let down.
Oh, man. The 94 hit him.
Behind.
And that's what made the 94 go in the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well,
okay. All right. Still under caution at North Wilkesboro. They're trying to rip away the sheet metal on the Jimmy Spencer car. He was involved in a crash over in turn number 2 that also involves Sterling Marlin. And they have gotten that front part pulled away, but last time they were in, watch this, they were trying to rip that piece away, and Jimmy says, I gotta go, and so the guy just let go of it, and he dragged it all the way around the track. Well, there's going to be a lot of fabricating done in this shop over the next week to form new pieces. Here is an ESPN Track Fact. This Track Fact is brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
This rather simplistic looking piece of equipment is called an English wheel. Now what you see John Dotson, the fabricator for the Rusty Wallace team, doing is bending a piece of what was straight metal to make a fender well boil. That's the well of metal that comes out over the tires on the race car. In the old days you had to do it with a hammer and a dolly. Body men would be hammering and hammering all day long and using Bondo to make it nice and smooth. Well, this English wheel developed, of course, in England for the use in the Rolls-Royce cars. The very smooth contour of the Rolls-Royce bodies, all handmade. Now it's being applied to Winston Cup racing. John, what have you got here? What a beautiful contour for the fender.
Well, that English wheel is going to be used a lot by a lot of teams after this short track race at North Wilkesboro this afternoon. Well, Jerry Punch is with Sterling Marlin, who is apparently out of today's race.
Tough break for Sterling Marlin. Sterling, what happened up there?
Well, you know, had it restart and the car's working real good. You know, I think we had a good shot at, you know, finishing top 3 or 4 today, and Marcus raced the 57 car pretty hard, and Jimmy went in the corner and it broke loose with him, and I said, I'm going to cut and go under, and when I cut to go under, it looked like he stood in the gas, keep him going up the wall and hum in the right rear and turn us in the wall. But, you know, snow coals ran great, and yeah, that's the best we've run in a long time here, so we just sitting riding and taking our time, and, you know, it was unfortunate it happened. You know, it wasn't Jimmy's fault, Marcus, nobody just wouldn't know where to go.
Sterling Marlin, a tough break for him here at Wilkesboro after what happened at Bristol a couple of weeks ago, then coming here and having this problem. He was 9th in the points, but he will drop down after today.
Yeah, it seems like there's one driver every year that just has incredible bad luck, and Sterling Marlin seems to be that driver today. Morgan Shepherd, let's take a look at his Big A Auto Parts pit stop performance Took him 16.7 seconds to slow down and speed up. The crew 28.6 seconds for a total time of 45.3, and that was much slower than we have seen several of the crews turn in here so far today, and we see a result of that. He went into the pits on lap 153 in 3rd position, and he came out 10 spots behind that in 13th. So Morgan Shepherd has got some work cut out for him here as we are awaiting the restart of this first Union 400. They're cleaning up the track from Sterling Marlin's car over in turn number 2.
Yeah.
I knew you went out to Sterling, and I just came on back out here on pit road. I turned around, and Sterling walked up behind me and tapped me on the shoulder.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I did the interview. I knew you were back here to get him.
Yeah. Well, that's no problem. I was on the way down there. I mean, if he came by you.
Hey, Neil.
Might as well.
We need to say that NASCAR held the 57 car for a lap because that was very dangerous. So NASCAR did hold him for a lap because of that.
Under beautiful, bright, sunshiny skies in the brushy mountains of North Carolina, the sellout crowd is on its feet as they cheer the restart of the first Union 400. Here we go, back to racing after our 5th caution flag on lap 160. Darrell Waltrip leads this race.
Well, I'll tell you, he has to really feel good about the set of tires he has on that race car. He has 2 opportunities during cautions to come in and has not made a pit stop yet.
He's passed up both of them.
And look who's second.
It's the number 3 car, Dale Earnhardt. Earlier in the race, Dale Earnhardt was a lap down.
Caution flag is out.
Indeed it is. There must be a piece of debris on the racetrack. There has been no spin, at least that we are aware of. It is a debris caution.
Could have come off of the car of Jimmy Spencer as he was going out as they raced back to the start-finish line, but Darrell Walker beats everybody back.
The debris...
Yeah, there was a piece of screen wire up in turn 4. They got it off.
Okay. All right.
Well, I was going to get that in about it could have come off of Jimmy Spencer's car, and the fact that he's held a lap, I thought it'd be a good opportunity. But
1 to go. NASCAR racing on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, the first Union 400. Can't find a more beautiful portion of the United States anywhere. Benny Parsons grew up just out in the holler, didn't you?
Just right down the holler, about 10 miles from here.
We're about to go back to green here at North Wilkesboro. After our 6th caution period of the day, Dale Earnhardt is going to be in 2nd position behind Darrell Waltrip, who's the leader of the race. Earnhardt was a lap down not too long ago. He's gotten a lap back and now finds himself in 2nd spot. At lap 164, we go back to green.
And Earnhardt's tires, he has about 25 less laps than Darrell Waltrip, the leader of the race. That's Waltrip, the orange and white 17. The 3 car, the black car, is Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt trying to move to the inside of Darrell Waltrip and take over the lead. He didn't get the job done, but boy, that number 3 car is working now.
Well, Darrell Waltrip has missed 2 opportunities to take on the new tires during caution periods, but has opted to stay out there, I guess, for the track position, and I'm sure he feels good about the set of tires he has on there.
3rd position is Mark Martin. Car getting a little bit sideways. Bobby Hillin slowing down, but everything is okay. The rest of the field misses him. Mark Martin.
And Kyle Petty spins going into turn 3. I think he hit the inside curbing trying to slow down from that Bobby Hillen situation that you just mentioned. And all at once, the Peak Antifreeze Pontiac spun right in front of a lot of cars, but not too many of them hit him, if any.
Well, the number 98 car of Butch Miller also became involved in it. Here's a replay.
Well, maybe he didn't hit the curbing. It looks like Mike Alexander in car number 12 got into Kyle as they went into turn 3.
Kyle backing up and hitting the outside wall between turns 3 and 4, and to the right, Butch Miller spins. Here's another angle.
He did hit the curb, Ned.
Yeah, he did. But it was after he was sideways.
I tell you what, how in the world they can put 3 or 4 cars abreast in there is beyond me and miss all those cars. But they did it.
And here comes Kyle into the pits now. They'll check that car over and send it back out if everything is okay on it.
Of course, he's one of the 14 cars that are still in the lead lap.
He was running 7th when he had the spin over there in turn number 3.
And this is an excellent opportunity to stop and change tires because he was at the complete rear of the field. He can stop, change tires, not lose any positions at all.
Well, he's going to have to hurry and not lose a lap.
They're still working on the left side of the car. I don't think they're going to get him out. Well, yeah, they did. At the last moment, he pulls out just ahead of the pace car. So Kyle Petty does stay on the lead lap. We're under caution once again here at North Wilkesboro. We'll be back with more of our coverage right after this.
Oh, I think he's only got one lug that on that side.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's right. They just did what they had to do to get him back out there.
I was right. One. One on the left rear, and I think 1.5 on the left front.
All right.
Okay, Goldberg, don't forget the head of the week sometime. Hey, I promised that lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, there.
Okay. What lap are we on?
Jack got that clicker going.
Yeah, he does. Okay. Okay. All right. Still get that shot in there. Yeah, it is. And just think, they're not even halfway through this thing yet. With 172 of 400 laps completed, Darrell Waltrip leads the First Union 400, followed by Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin, Davey Allison, and Jeff Bodine. Tuesday night, Major League Baseball here on ESPN, a doubleheader. The Angels versus the Red Sox, and then the Cubs against the Padres. That's at 7:30 tomorrow night here on ESPN. Isn't it great that you can know that you're going to see a Major League Baseball game here on ESPN whenever you want to? Well, let's go to Jerry Punch. Now, Jerry, we've talked about the fact that Darrell Waltrip has passed up some opportunities to pit. What's the reason for that?
Well, apparently what Ned said a minute ago, track position. I talked with Jeff Hammond, and Jeff said, hey, if we would come in and pit, we would have you have fresh tires and maybe be able to stay out in front of Earnhardt and some of the other guys, but we'll be back in the back of that pack. Exactly what happened to Kyle Petty and some of the other guys a minute ago could happen to us, so track position is so important. Let's go up and check in with John Kernan.
Well, thank you, Jerry. I'm in Davey Allison's pit, and Robert Yates is very pleased with the way the car is handling right now. They've moved all the way up into the 4th position, and Davey is looking to make some more moves.
Green flag comes out, back to racing. Waltrip and Earnhardt renew their battle for the lead. Dale looking to the inside of Darrell at the end of the backstretch, but Waltrip holds him off.
I can't believe that. Darrell Waltrip moved up out of the groove. He gives Earnhardt the chance to go by. Ooh, but he shuts him off. Or did he? I don't think he did. Earnhardt alongside Darrell.
Earnhardt may have him at the end of the backstretch. Let's see. Nope. Waltrip holds on to the lead. Meanwhile, here comes Mark Martin and Davey Allison. They're 3rd and 4th.
Look at that. Darrell Waltrip on the outside was able to hold the position. Ned, did he find the groove or just got lucky up there?
Well, I don't know. He moved back down to the inside that time around, but I don't know. He might have just got lucky up there.
Davey Allison begins to work on Mark Martin now. Allison going to the inside of Mark in turn number 4, trying to take off 3rd position.
Looked like the Bristol finished there. He finished for 3rd and 4th. They were 1st and 2nd at Bristol, but Davey Allison does take the position.
Allison moves to 3rd spot. He's got that car running well here on a short track for the 2nd time in a row. Winner at Bristol 2 weeks ago. Now 3rd here at North Wilkesboro. The number 11 car, driven by Jeff Bodine, is in 5th position. We're riding with Jeff right now. Right behind him is Ricky Rudd. They're the cars out of the race. Rob Moroso and Sterling Marlin, both because of incidents on the racetrack.
You see Darrell Waltrip keeping the car very, very low on the racetrack. That's why I said a moment ago, it surprised me so much that Earnhardt was able to get alongside of it. Once again, Dale tries. You see Darrell's keeping that car right on the bottom of the racetrack. Going to make Dale Earnhardt go by on the outside if he's going to pass.
Harry Gant goes very high up in turn 4, almost lost it. Boy, he got way up in the marbles, as they say, as Dale Earnhardt now tries to move on the outside.
Dale also going high off the 2nd corner. He's going to try Waltrip now and see if he can't move into the lead again. Can Darrell hold him off to the inside? They're side by side as they come off the 4th corner. Let's see who leads as they cross the stripe. Ooh, they were right together. Earnhardt now begins to move around Darrell Waltrip, but Waltrip isn't real happy about relinquishing the lead. Finally, he does, and Dale Earnhardt is the new leader.
Now Earnhardt's got more problems, primarily Davey Allison. All he sees a red star in his rearview mirror.
Talked about, Mark Martin got the left side wheels off the racetrack down in the grass there just for a moment, and now Davey Allison begins to challenge Darrell Waltrip for 2nd spot. Allison moving to Haviland 4. They touch coming off the 4th corner. Little bit of paint trading going on. Mark Martin.
Davey could have done some damage to Darrell Waltrip that time, but he decided to back off the gas and let Darrell get things straightened out. Now, Davey has position. He's going to try on the inside again, I think.
Great 3-car battle here for 2nd spot. Darrell Waltrip, Davey Allison, and Mark Martin.
And right behind them is Ricky Rudd trying to get by Jeff Bodine. There's a race every place.
All these guys are on the lead lap, so they're battling for position. Now Allison inside of Darrell Waltrip at the end of the backstretch between turns 3 and 4. Allison goes to 2nd spot.
And there Darrell Waltrip's got trouble with Mark Martin, who's on his rear bumper.
I think those tires that he has on that car are beginning to show up now. He's had them on there for a long, long time, and believe it's beginning to show.
Look, Rudd is trying to get by Mark Martin. He has position on him going in turn 3. Mark drifts up the racetrack a little bit. Rudd's on the inside.
Mark holds him off for the moment. Ford against Chevy there. On Jeff Bodine's in-car camera.
And here's trouble on the front
main stretch. It's Bobby Hillin and Jimmy Means that have come together. Steam pouring out of the Bobby Hillin car to the inside of the track, and the caution flag waves.
And I'll bet you Darrell Walter pits this time.
Yeah, I bet he will too. His crew is already out on pit road ready to bring him in. As you see, the Snickers Buick of Bobby Hillen against the wall. A lot of damage to that car. Bobby comes out here today.
There's some water coming from the under the car, so I'm sure they're ready. There's the water coming out of the car. I'm sure the radiator's broken.
Bobby was running one lap down in the 18th position.
He'll be climbing out of that car as the wrecker comes to aid the Snickers Pontiac, or Buick, I should say. So our 8th caution flag of the afternoon here at North Wilkesboro, and we're awaiting now the pit stops, and here they come. There's the leader, Dale Earnhardt, moving in for a stop, and a much-needed one by Darrell Waltrip. Jerry punches in Waltrip's pit.
Well, Jeff Hammond and the crew will go to work on Waltrip's car. I was just about to talk to Jeff Hammond, and Waltrip was being passed by Earnhardt and being worked over by Davey Allison. They definitely needed to come in and get some tires. The car was really getting loose. Let's go ahead and check into Davey Allison pits with John Kernan.
Well, the Robert Yates crew is going for a 4-tire change. They've already got the right sides on. They're putting on the left sides. They've got 2 cans of fuel and out of the pit.
Good quick pit stop.
Oh, my goodness, there's a tire going down the end of pit road.
It is bounding onto the racetrack high in the air. It's going to hit the outer wall. No, it isn't either. It's going to bound to the inside now. That thing went high into the air and could have caused a real problem. You can see hitting one of the safety vehicles and finally stopping down in the first turn.
And that guy said, where did that tire come from?
Well, that was quick delivery, but I didn't order one.
So pit stops made, and the field now under caution again as Bobby Hillen's car is not quite on the hook yet here on the main straightaway.
Davey Allison is the guy who hits that tire. I don't know where the tire came from. Terry Labonte hits it first, and Davey Allison center punches the tire, and away it goes. Look at Jimmy Cox running out of the way of the tire. On the racetrack, no less.
Yeah. Safer out there.
Thing almost got up to the outside wall, but then took a route toward the inside, and that's where it stopped.
There's Jimmy Cox, unflappable Jimmy Cox.
That crew cam on the right side, well left as we look at it on the screen on his right side.
You can see he's telling the cars to stop and then okay to proceed back onto the racetrack.
He's going to stand by the end of that pit wall so we can go either way in case somebody comes down through there.
No, hey, dummy.
Smart fellow. That's all right.
Bobby Hillen's car there to the inside of the racetrack. On the hook now. They'll be moving it away in just a few moments. They've already put some oil dry down here on the main stretch, trying to soak up the liquid that came from his car and from Jimmy Means, who was also involved in this incident. There you can see Hillen's car beginning to move away now.
You know, I was wondering if we might have that shot of the tire going down through there from the crew cam. Jimmy Cox, the official we saw a moment ago, is wearing the crew cam, and I was wondering if we'd be able to see it. Now, here's the shot. Jimmy says go to the cars. Here's the cars coming down through there. Labonte goes by, and here comes the tire. Look at that. Oh, wow. He goes in the middle of the racetrack to dodge the tire.
Don't blame him.
Everything is okay, though. He's fine, and...
Tim Brewer saying, what happened, Jimmy? How come you run in the middle of the racetrack?
There's a live shot from the crew cam as Brewer comes over. Well, let's go to John Kernan, who's with Robert Yates.
Well, Robert, Davey ran into a tire go down pit road. Any damage to the car?
No, really not any damage to it, but, you know, it's a dangerous situation when they leave the tires out. You know, team way down, another car dropped, kicked it out in front, and then, you know, I saw it go out right in front of him, and he didn't have a chance. You know, it was right between two cars running too fast. But, you know, they need to work on that deal with NASCAR, like the rear or tire carrier picking up that right rear tire.
Now, he had moved up into second place. He's lost a few positions in the pits here getting out. Can he make those up?
We hope so. The car's running good.
There you have it from Robert Yates. Davey Allison's car running really well, and they're hoping to go to the front to make it 2 in a row.
All right, the caution remains on the racetrack, so we'll take another break and be back with more of our coverage of the First Union 400 from North Wilkesboro. Okay.
I tell you what, that wasn't as dramatic as it could have been, but it's a great shot anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Neil. That's great. Do you want us to get political on this thing with the tires?
Okay.
What about, do you have anything on the Bobby Hill and Jimmy Means crash from the stationary camera? What do you call it? The speed shot, maybe?
That's right. And she's eating again. Bray, get out of there.
Saved you $2, Mike.
Yeah. Yes.
What happened with that tire? That was Darrell Waltrip's right rear tire, and when he took it off, they laid the tire down beside the right rear of the car. Normally, they had sent one of their guys to catch the right rear tire of the car in front of them that came off. That was Mark Martin's car, and that's normally what the other crews do all up and down pit road. Well, apparently, when they laid their tire down, when Labonte came out from behind Waltrip, he pushed the tire out into the middle of pit road, and then they got hit 3 or 4 times by different cars, and then it was history. So
okay,
that's what happened.
All right. Yep. No. Yellow is still out at North Wilkesboro because of a crash here on the main straightaway involving Bobby Hillen and Jimmy Means. But we had a dramatic moment on pit road a while ago as we get set to go back to green. We'll show you what happened. A tire got hit by Bobby Allison, bounding it high into the air and creating some real concern. Now, the yellow car passes it. Allison hits it and sends it high into the air, bounding, missing everybody. You can see Jimmy Cox there, the paddle man, telling the cars to stop and go off pit road, running out of the way. And it just so happens that he is carrying our crew cam, and this is how it looked for his perspective. There you see that the tire begins to bound, and he runs out onto the racetrack to get away from it.
So they're playing kick the can with that tire there, almost the way it looked.
And there he is. Still got the paddle in hand and working hard.
Yeah, Harold was a little bit late getting that. He was confused. They didn't know which way he was supposed to be.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
We'll go back to green in one more lap after an incident here on the main straightaway involving Bobby Hillen and Jimmy Means. But there was a dramatic moment on pit road during the caution. Davey Allison is going to hit a tire as he moves out of the pit area and send it bounding high into the air. Now watch. The tire gets shoved out into pit road. The yellow car misses it. Allison hits it, and it sends it high into the air, bounding down pit road. Jimmy Cox there on the left gets away from the tire, and it just so happens that he is wearing our crew cam, and here's how it looked from his perspective.
You see the tire bouncing towards him. He runs out on the racetrack to get away from it. Can't blame him for that.
That's the right rear tire off Darrell Waltrip's automobile. It was Terry Labonte hit it, pushed it out in the middle of the racetrack, and Davey Allison hit it. Green flag racing.
Lap 196. We're almost to the halfway point of this event.
And
Brett Bodine in the number 26 Quaker State Buick, owned by Kenny Bernstein, that has the lead. Well, Brett Bodine did not pit. John Kernan, tell us why.
Well, Bob, Larry McReynolds says that they just had about 23 laps on that last set of tires, and they were just starting to come in. The car was running great, so instead of coming in for new sticker tires, he decided to leave Brett out on the track and pick up some valuable track positions all the way to the point.
And he's not the only one that did not pit. Neither did Alan Kowicki, the 66 of Dick Trickle, and the 42 of Kyle Petty. The helmet cam worn by Harry Gant.
We first saw this in Darlington a couple of weeks ago. This isn't as dramatic as Darlington, but we can still see how the driver's head moves around inside the race car.
Again, is running one lap down, trying desperately to catch Brett Bodine to get back in the lead lap. Then if the caution should come out, he'd be in good shape.
Harry is in 15th position. That means that there are 14 cars on the lead lap. One of the cars that is on the lead lap and very much in contention is Dale Earnhardt in number 3. A Big A Auto Parts pit stop performance report on Dale. 16.9 for the driver on that most recent pit stop. 23.3 for the crew, a total of 40.2 seconds. A good 4-tire change. What did it do? Well, he came into the pits in 2nd position, and he came out in 5th. That was on lap 186.
But several cars did not pit in front of him, so he didn't really lose that many positions in the pit.
There we see Earnhardt trying to go by the 4 car of Ernie Irvin before that Oldsmobile. Ernie's a lap down. Still, he's racing Earnhardt hard.
Dale Earnhardt is now in 4th position. Kyle Petty there, number 42, is in 5th. The number 15 car of Morgan Shepherd in a battle with the 27 of Rusty Wallace. There they are. Both of these cars are on the lead lap, but they're running 13th and 14th. Michael Waltrip is just ahead, and there's Dale Jarrett at number 21, substituting again for Neil Bonnet, who continues to recuperate from the injury suffered at Darlington. And we understand doing well, gaining his memory back. Hopefully he'll be back. Oh, Michael Waltrip.
There's trouble up in front of him. There's Richard Petty spinning around in car number 43.
Petty's car against the outside wall off the 2nd corner. Also involved was Davey Allison, as he had to go to the inside grass. Is just coming back onto the racetrack after having made an excursion through the infield grass. Richard Petty's STP Pontiac stalled against the outside wall off the 2nd corner.
That seems to be the favorite spot for trouble this afternoon. Almost all the problems we've had has been off the 2nd corner.
Here's a replay, and Jimmy Spencer, number 57, involved in that.
Jimmy's been involved in several of the things here this afternoon. We're not saying that it was his making, but he's been involved in it.
And Richard hits the wall hard with the left side of the automobile. We see Davey Allison parked on the inside, and luckily no one hit Davey.
Dale Earnhardt had to get on the binders hard, or make that Rusty Wallace had to. We were watching this, and I was just about to say that Michael Waltrip drifted high and got on the binders, but there's stuff going on ahead of him.
Well, we don't see it because the camera moves, but there's a piece of debris that Morgan Shepherd picks up. I watched Morgan Shepherd go through that, and he picked up some sort of debris. I sure hope he didn't do any damage to his car.
And the same with Davey Allison, who was running so well. The ambulance is at the scene of Richard Petty's crash in turn number 2. We're on lap 204. Davey Allison is in, John.
Davey has been in for a really quick 4-tire change. Robert Yates and the crew got him in and out really quick. One of the quickest 4-tire changes I've seen this afternoon.
Well, let's hope there was no damage done to that car, as he had to take evasive action and spin to miss the cars that were sideways ahead of him. So we have run into a flurry of caution flags here in the last few laps in the First Union 400 Winston Cup race. Event number 7 on the trail for 1990. Back in a moment. They don't have Richard out of the car yet.
He did hit that wall hard on the left side, too.
Looks like the car's rolling.
Yeah, they probably need to move the car to be able to get in.
To get into the driver's side.
Yeah, he's driving.
Okay. Yeah, he does.
All right. Now, we've got to thank Farmore for bringing the balloon up. Okay, Bob?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Is Jerry headed down for the Petty story?
Gail Carlson and with the balloon.
Okay. Well, they were talking about the ambulance. I heard you guys talking about.
Oh. Yeah, he's okay.
You want us to move on down to Petty's pits? Okay.
Nice stuff.
You might want to tell the guys up in the booth.
We're going to need refreshments here.
Larry McReynolds does not want to see these caution periods. Apparently, his car is running a lot better under long green flag stretches, and he says that's what he would like to see. But his car was running just a little bit hot, and he says the caution periods have helped to cool it down.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Hi, guys. How's it going?
Okay. Do you hear me now? Okay, we were gone for a few minutes. Yeah, we were down. I couldn't hear. What's going on? I was without audio at all. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye. We're standing beside Waltrip's area. We can sort of see if they bring an ambulance in, but. Or are they bringing back
Richard was okay, Jerry.
Yeah, he drove the car there for a while.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
I was off with the battery change. I couldn't hear what happened. What happened?
We don't know.
He and Spencer maybe got together, and Richard hit the wall pretty hard coming out of 2.
Hey, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just talked to Dale Inman. He says that Richard is okay.
Okay,
and the car is out. They're going to the garage area. He's really dejected.
See that right front tire laying there in the middle of the racetrack.
Yep.
Do we need to go to the garage area, or is Jerry going to take care of that?
Well, I'm down here. If you want me to, I can.
Well, okay. We'll hang. Okay. We'll hang around up here in the 26 car pit.
Okay.
How's Michael Walter doing? All right. Is he still in the top 10?
Yeah, he's 12. Still on the lead lap.
Oh, okay. Hey, sometimes that could be the top 10.
Yeah. We probably need to run him down, don't we? We haven't done that today, Ned.
That's true. Good thinking.
They don't have the car off the track yet. It'll be at least
Not many. 2 more, maybe.
Yeah.
Adam, baby, I was hoping you'd say that.
Okay. Richard Petty's car on the hook as we are under caution once again here at North Wilkesboro. Richard is okay, but it looks like the car is definitely out of the race. Well, there's lots of hat wear here in North Wilkesboro, as there is at any race. And you know what's coming. It's time for Benny's Hat of the Week. And this week here at North Wilkesboro, we soar to new heights as we present the Hat of the Week.
What could be finer than drifting through a Carolina sky in the morning in a hot air balloon? No noise, letting the wind carry you along. So when Randy Repahowski from Albuquerque, New Mexico, sent me the balloon hat, I was trying to find a place to use it. Come to find out, the Wilkes County Rotary is having a balloon festival here in Wilkes County June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So the North Wilkesboro Speedway, perfect place for the hat. The hat's going to Decatur, Illinois, where the Soy City Breakers, May 19th and 20th, is having a jamboree. The hat is going to be used as a door prize. Thank you very much, folks. And, Captain, let's go ballooning.
I'm ready.
Don't let go of that rope, guys, please.
Are you afraid of heights or what?
Yeah. By the way, I got to say thanks to Gail Carlson and the Farmore people for bringing the balloon up.
There's the address that you can write to and send your Hat of the Week, 112 South Main Street, Ellerby, North Carolina, 28338. Have you ever seriously ridden a hot air balloon, either one of you?
Are you kidding?
Benny has. We saw it.
Yeah.
About, what, 20 feet off the ground?
I mean, really off the ground. I rode in one once quite a while ago, and I will never do it again.
I'll say this much. I'm terrified of heights. Let's get back to racing.
Okay. On the ground, speed fine. Here's Brett Bodine leading him down to take the green flag and restart the first Union 400 on lap 212. Brett Bodine is the leader of the race. Alan Kowicki, car number 7, is running second. Dick Trickle is third, followed by Dale Earnhardt and then Kyle Petty.
Bob running in 6th place is Jeff Bodine. Darrell Waltrip is 7th. Terry Labonte 8th. Mark Martin 9th. 10th is Ricky Rudd. 11th, Michael Waltrip. 12th, Rusty Wallace. Morgan Shepherd is 13th, and Davey Allison 14th. Those 14 cars in the lead lap. 1 lap down is Harry Gant in car number 33. The car number 4, Bernie Urban, is 16th. 17th is Kenny Wallace, doing a great job here today in his first Winston Cup race. 18th is Mike Alexander. Dave Marks is 19th, and Dale Jarrett in 20th position. From 15th through 20th, 1 lap down.
Seems like that Dick Trickle has perhaps been the most consistent performer this afternoon. He has been either, it seems, first, second, or third all race long. He currently is in 3rd position. We're with him now, the Phillips 66 in-car camera, as he follows 2nd place Alan Kulwicki in car number 7, and the leader of the race, the Quaker State Buick, driven by Brett Bodine. And now Trickle begins to put some pressure on Alan Kulwicki.
And in turn, Kulwicki starts putting a little heat on the lead car, Brett Bodine. And not too far back is the 3 car.
While these 3 guys are going at it for 1st and 2nd, Earnhardt is catching all of them in 4th.
This is the in-car camera, Dick Trickle's Trop Arctic automobile. Looking at the rear deck lid of Alan Kulwicki's car. And this is close.
Reaching speeds of about 130 or so miles an hour at the end of the straightaway before they have to get on the binders for the corners. Brett Bodine doing a good job of holding off Kulwicki and Trickle for the lead. Brett Bodine's best finish in Winston Cup competition this year, an 8th. That was at both Richmond and at Darlington. He leads the first Union 400. The car owned by Kenny Bernstein. He competed this weekend at Atlanta in drag racing competition. And while we're speaking of drag racing, we want to wish our best to Darrell Gwynn, who, of course, was injured in a drag racing crash in England a week ago. We keep recuperating over there in the hospital, and our best to one of the finest young men in motorsports, Darrell Gwynn. Let's go to Jerry Punch, who is with Richard Petty.
Well, Richard, first of all, are you okay, Richard?
Yeah, I'm all right. Kind of teed off a little bit, but other than that, I'm all right.
What happened out there?
Well, got to racing. I had a lap down. I got to racing with somebody 3 or 4 laps down, and anyhow, I wound up in a wall. Just a stupid mistake on my part for getting close to them, and on their part for hitting in the first place.
Dale and the guys are working on the car. Can they get it back in?
I don't know. Messed the front end up and the rear end, so don't look too good.
15-time winner here in Wilkesboro, Richard Petty, trying to get back in it, but they got a lot of work to do.
Indeed, Richard Petty leads in number of wins here at North Wilkesboro. His most recent was this race in 1981.
Brett Bodine moving out to about a 2-car length advantage on Kulwicki. So Larry McReynolds, the crew chief on Bodine's car, said their car ran better after extended periods. Looks like he's a prophet because able to pull away by a car length or so.
They didn't really want to see the cautions because they'd like to see some long runs because, as you just mentioned, the car runs better on an extended period. Boy, look at this race. But they understand the Quaker State Buick is overheating just a little bit, and so they like the cautions so it could cool down.
From the side cam on Dick Trickle's car as Dale Earnhardt moves alongside. They come out of the 4th corner. Trickle gives him room. Here's Dale Earnhardt going to 3rd place. A number 4 car of Ernie Irvin is not on the lead lap.
Once again from the side cam of the Dick Trickle automobile down in turn 3.
Ooh, that's close. Ooh.
Trickle once again challenging back on the inside.
Okay, Earnhardt has the pass.
And now he sets his sights on the number 7 car of Alan Kulwicki. Well, here now is our Western Auto Race recap. Brett Bodine leads, has led 34 the 220 laps. The average speed 78.120 miles an hour. We've had 4 leaders, 3 lead changes, 8 caution periods for 42 laps, and 14 cars are on the lead lap. Mark Martin, Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, and Brett Bodine have each led a lap. And those out of race include Rob Moroso, Sterling Marlin, Bobby Hillin, and Richard Petty. All of those because of incidents on the racetrack. Our Mechanic of the Year, Western Auto Mechanic of the Year point standings have Robin Pemberton in 1st place, followed by Gary Nelson, the 42 car, Tim Brewer, the 11 car, then Steve Lloyd of Sterling Marlin's car, and Donnie Wingo, who's the mechanic on the number 15 car of Morgan Shepherd.
And Bob, we went down through 20th position. Whose fans are wondering about Bill Elliott. He's running 21st, 2 laps down. Ken Schrader is 22nd, 2 laps down. So is Rick Wilson. He's in 23rd, and in 24th position is the car number 10 of Derek Cope.
There is Elliott on the outside to number 9. As you mentioned, he's 2 laps down, but there to the inside of him is the 6 car, the pole sitter for this event, and the only driver eligible for $30,400 in Unocal money, Mark Martin. Right behind him is the number 1 car, driven by Terry Labonte, and both of those cars are on the lead lap. Just ahead, the number 27, or number 17 car, rather, of Darrell Waltrip. Dropping back just a little, there's the 15 car of Morgan Shepherd, the 27 of Rusty Wallace, and the 36 of Kenny Wallace, who is making his Winston Cup debut after successful early career in Busch Grand National competition. Kenny Wallace in the Cox Lumber-treated car, making his first start in Winston Cup competition this afternoon. The number 28 car is Davey Allison, and the number 5 is Ricky Rudd. Both of these cars on the lead lap.
Ricky Rudd's another car that all of a sudden is having problems again. He's been drifting back, has lost 4 or 5 spots. Oh, a little bump from Earnhardt on Kowicki coming off turn 4.
This is for second place. Kowicki in the Xerox Ford. His best performance of the year so far. He was one of those that we told you needed a good finish here. And here is Darrell Waltrip and Mark Martin. These two battled for the lead earlier, and now they're going for another position. And look at the paint trading going on between Dale Earnhardt and Alan Kowicki as we cover the action all the way around the track for you.
Good battle between Chevrolet and Ford. Each of those, the Chevrolet got the best of this battle. And the Chevrolet trying to get the best of this battle as Darrell Waltrip moved down on the inside of Mark Martin.
That's a Chevrolet versus Ford battle. Waltrip in the Chevy and Mark Martin in the Ford. Jack Roush prepared car. We're moving the coverage all around in this one to provide the action for you on the short track of North Wilkesboro, and next Sunday we'll have the short track action from Martinsville, Virginia. So with Brett Bodine leading, the First Union 400 continues under bright, sunshiny skies. There is the battle between the number 7 car of Kowicki and the 66 of Trickle. This is for third spot. And now, the number 1 car of Terry Labonte on the outside, and the 15 of Morgan Shepherd inside. Here comes Rusty Wallace to join the fray.
Morgan Shepherd made a pit stop, and he was far back in the pack, Bob, and he has come back up through there. As we watch this battle now, Mark Martin trying to move on the inside of Jeff Bodine. Darrell Waltrip still right there.
6th, 7th, and 8th. Bodine, Martin, Waltrip. The leader is Brett Bodine in the Quaker State Buick number 26, and Dale Earnhardt in the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet number 3 is in second position. We'll be back right after this. You don't have it, huh? Sure you do. Thank you. How about this Brett Bodine? What do you think?
If it goes green the rest of the way, he might win.
No, Morgan Shepherd will win if it goes green the rest of the way.
Think so?
Think so?
Yes, sir. He's coming on. Just past Waltrip.
Welcome back to North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway, where the battle for the lead is going on between the number 26 Quaker State Buick of Brett Bodine and the number 3 GM Goodwrench Chevrolet of Dale Earnhardt. And meanwhile, back of this, there's a tremendous battle going on between Morgan Shepherd and Darrell Waltrip.
And Morgan just passed Darrell and Jeff Bodine a few laps ago, but Waltrip now is trying to pick back up on Morgan Shepherd.
As we talk, we see Davey Allison going by Jeff Bodine, so Bodine's car off the pace now.
Here's a battle for third position now between Alan Kulwicki and Dick Trickle.
This battle's been going on for quite a while as well. Trickle right on the back bumper of Alan Kulwicki, but just can't get by.
Kulwicki with only one top 10 finish in 1990. That was an 8th at Atlanta. It has not been a good year for Alan Kulwicki so far. We talked about him in the opening of the program, but it is going well, at least at this point, here at North Wilkesboro. Dick Trickle trying to get around him. He'll look to the inside, going into turn 1. Can't make the pass, though. Most competition as we're watching from the side cam on Trickle's car. Now Earnhardt on the outside of Brett Bodine, trying to take over the lead from Brett. And look at this battle for third. 66 of Trickle to the inside of Alan Kulwicki. He's going to get third spot. Now what about up front for the lead? Well, it's still Brett Bodine leading, as now Dick Trickle has his sights set on this battle for the top spot as the two leaders pass Derry Cope.
It's unbelievable that Earnhardt's car was that bad earlier on in the race and is that good now as he drives Bodine on the inside. Just up to that left rear going down in the corner.
Hey, Brett has done a good job of holding Earnhardt off, but now.
And remember, Brett did not pit. The most recent caution, he did not pit to change tires, and Dale Earnhardt did. And now Earnhardt looks like he is ready to take over the lead. They battle wheel to wheel coming out of the fourth corner, but Brett does a tremendous job holding off the challenge. There they go into the corner, rubbing paint and side by side. Earnhardt with the slide advantage coming out of the corner down the backstretch, but boy, Brett Bodine is really putting up a battle. And Dale Earnhardt finally gets by Brett after a gallant battle by Brett.
And all the Chevrolet fans stand up and applaud as Earnhardt goes in the front.
He had to work for it.
And
Brett Bodine didn't just hand it to him on the silver platter.
And all the Buick fans say shucks and sit down.
Brett Bodine, of course, served as a color commentator during our telecast of a modified race Saturday afternoon. Did a great job in the booth here with Jerry Punch, and now is showing that his real prowess is on the racetrack. There they passed the number 2 car by Rick Mast. Let's go to Sean Kernan, who's with Larry McReynolds, the crew chief on the Brett Bodine car.
Thank you, Bob. Larry, you just got Dale Earnhardt just past Brett. Are the tires starting to go away?
Yeah, I think maybe Dale right now is on a little bit better tires than we are. He's got about 20 to 25 less laps than we did. We run good a lot longer than I thought we would on the used tires. We could probably use a caution here in about 20 to 30 laps, and then we'd be hopefully set for the rest of the race. But we just have to see. Still got a long way to go, and there's a couple of cars back here in the pack that's still going to be tough. That 6 car and that 11 car.
Well, there you have it. Brett Bodine's tires may be going away. I'd like to have a caution soon.
All right, and you can see that Dale Earnhardt now is beginning to put some distance between himself and Brett Bodine. The 1 and 28 cars on the racetrack are running right together. That is Terry Labonte and Davey Allison. This is 9th and 10th.
A good run for Terry Labonte, Richard Jackson, Claude Queen, the old entire Stoll Classic crew.
Well, Terry Labonte likes this racetrack. He has a great record here, 2 wins in 87 and 88, 10 top 5 finishes, and 18 top 10 finishes in the 22 previous North Wilkesboro starts for Terry Labonte.
When we went to Terry Labonte just a couple of laps ago, he and the Davey Allison automobile was together. And look, he's already pulled out to a 5 or 6 car length advantage on the Texaco Ford.
Harry, of course, running a Oldsmobile. Car looks like it's working well for him.
Tell you what, it seems like today the track position is so doggone important. Only a few cars have been able to show the muscle to get by. Dale Earnhardt, certainly one of them. He's been able to pass cars almost at will.
Elsewhere on the racetrack, Morgan Shepherd continues to move up.
There's Darrell Walter following him right up through there.
Rick Mast in number 2, and of course Harry Gant in number 33. Gant is not on the lead lap in 15th position, a lap down, watching from his bumper cam.
Morgan Shepherd running 6th, Darrell Walter 7th.
Ooh, look at Darrell right in on the back bumper of Harry going into the 3rd turn.
Gant moves over, gives him plenty of running room. He tried earlier to get a lap back, but just couldn't quite do it. Brett Bodine was leading the race, so he has to be content now with running the first car on those that are 1 lap down.
From the helmet cam worn by Harry Gant. Again, we would like to remind you that you can listen to your favorite driver share his thoughts about his personal life and his racing career. Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Junior Johnson, and Darrell Waltrip. All you have to do is dial 1-900-226-1000. It'll cost you $1.95 for the first minute and $1 for each additional minute. And please, kids, get your permission from your parents before you dial. Again, the number 1-900-226-1000 for comments from Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Junior Johnson, and Darrell Waltrip. We're glad you could join us for the first Union 400 here at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway. We'll be right back. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, Dr. Jerry Punch, and John Kernan back at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Here's a battle as Morgan Shepherd in the 15 and Darrell Waltrip in the 17 now past the number 7 car of Alan Kowicki, and that puts them in 5th position. Alan has been dropping back the last few laps. Back at North Wilkesboro, where Dale Earnhardt leads the first Union 400. He was a lap down earlier in the race, but he's in the lead right now. Here's the best battle on the racetrack. It's between the 17 of Darrell Waltrip and the 15 of Morgan Shepherd, and it's for 5th position. Once again, a Chevrolet versus Ford battle. And here is Waltrip going to the inside. Did I see Morgan motion him by?
Yes, Morgan told Darrell Waltrip, look, I'm going to give you the position. Just go on in the corner. Just pretend I'm not even there because I'm going to fall in behind you. And really, truly, that's the smart thing to do because these fellows can race side by side and lose a lot of valuable time.
And a little bobble there from Alan Kowicki.
His car just gone away the last few laps.
It sure has.
Back horribly.
He was running 2nd not too long ago and has now really fallen back. Remember, Morgan Shepherd is driving with a bad back. It was really giving him some problems in the earlier part of the weekend. However, as you heard him explain to Jerry Punch at the beginning of the program, the pain is easing off just a little bit. And I would imagine that once you get in the race car and it's performing as well as Morgan's has, you just kind of forget about that back pain.
Race car can be some of the best medicine in the world for you sometimes.
Or the worst, whichever. This is good medicine for Darrell Waltrip because he needs a good run. This year's not been extremely kind to Darrell Waltrip, so he needs a good run today.
Dale Earnhardt is the leader of the race.
Coming up to put another lap on Bill Elliott. Elliott is already 2 laps down. Now Earnhardt trying to make it 3.
Now we're going to hold the shot here for you. Watch for your favorite driver as he passes through the frame of the shot, and you can see where he is in relation to the leader of the race. There goes Kowicki through.
Davey Allison, Kyle Petty, Rick Wilson, Rusty Wallace goes by. The 5 car of Levi Garrett automobile, 20.8. I mentioned earlier, and Bob Jenkins told you at the beginning of the show, that Mark Martin qualified at 19.15 seconds, so they've slowed down about a second and a half.
And if you fail to pick out your favorite driver that time, we're going to do it again. We're going to freeze the shot here and let everybody pass through the frame. Watch for your favorite driver, and at the same time, we'll time the lap by the leader, Dale Earnhardt. There goes Darrell Waltrip through. There's Morgan Shepherd, Harry Gant, Alan Kowicki, Ernie Irvin. This way we'll show you everybody that's still on the racetrack and show you where they are in relation to the leader. That lap was 20.7, so a little bit slower. He was held up in traffic just a little. That translates to a speed of 108.695 compared to the pole speed of 117.475.
Not too far up in front of Dale Earnhardt is Jeff Bodine, who started on the outside pole here. Jeff not running too steamy right now. There are 13 cars in the lead lap, and now just 12 cars as Ricky Rudd just went a lap down in the yellow and white car. Dale Earnhardt passed him, and here is Jeff Bodine, Dale Jarrett in the Citgo Ford number 21, trying to catch him.
And inside of Jeff Bodine's car, that's Derry Cope on the right, Dale Jarrett behind, and here comes the leader, Dale Earnhardt, to try to put a lap on both of those. Dale Jarrett is already a lap down. And now we're looking out the back glass of Jeff Bodine's car. Close competition there between Earnhardt and Jarrett. The 66 car of Dick Trickle is still hanging in there. He is in 3rd position, and right behind the 66 is the number 6 of Mark Martin. And Mark is going to try to take over that 3rd position as he moves alongside Dick Trickle.
Good move by Mark Martin, able to pull that cart on the inside and stuck, and takes over 3rd spot. Now he's looking for Brett Bodine up in front.
Boy, that car just out like a rocket ship.
And you can see Darrell Waltrip come into the picture there, not too far behind them. He is running in the 5th position. Trickle now in 4th. Here's Earnhardt trying to put a lap on Jeff Bodine. Oh, Jeff. Well, he decided to come into the pits, and I don't think Dale Jarrett or Dale Earnhardt expected that.
I think that was a last-minute decision by Jeff Bodine. He brings the Junior Johnson-owned Tim Brougham repaired number 11 Budweiser Ford in for a pit stop. They changed tires on the right side of the car, put the first tank full of fuel in. Now the Jackman goes around to the left side, and the tires are being replaced there as the second can of gas is going in.
Dale Earnhardt, the leader, just went by to put Bodine another lap down.
So now he is 2 laps down.
Jeff Bodine going back out onto the racetrack. He goes out just beside Dick Trickle at number 66. Here is the leader all to himself now on the racetrack.
Now Darrell Waltrip moving around the car number 66 of Dick Trickle. His car has gone away, and Waltrip moves into the 4th position.
Boy, the tires are just so critical. Earnhardt's the only fella, and Brett Bodine, who seems to be able to run on the used tires. Earnhardt couldn't do it earlier on, but he can now.
So now Darrell Waltrip is in 4th position, and Dick Trickle, with whom you are riding, is in 5th.
11 cars now on the lead lap.
The last car on the lead lap is the defending Winston Cup champion, Rusty Wallace.
We'll quickly run those down. Earnhardt leading, Brett Bodine 2nd, Mark Martin 3rd, Darrell Waltrip now in 4th, Dick Trickle 5th, Morgan Shepherd 6th, Kyle Petty, who's in the lead lap in 10th place coming down pit road. In 7th, Alan Kowicki. 8th is Terry Labonte. 9th, Davey Allison. Kyle Petty was 10th, but now he'll go a lap down at least. And 11th was the car number 27 of Rusty Wallace. And we might see some green flag pit stop, other green flag pit stops coming up, fellas.
There are a lot of cars. The 5 car, Ricky Rudd's car, is very, very bad now. I'm sure he's going to be coming in the pits soon.
Look at them. You can't hardly read the number on the left side of that car. That's because of the paint rating and the incidents that he has had with other cars on the racetrack. There goes Kyle Petty back out in competition.
Bill Elliott's in the pits. Bill was already 3 laps down in the Coors Ford, getting a 4-tire change.
If the race were to go green the rest of the day, that would be good strategy to stop early and get 4 fresh tires. But caution flag comes out. got problems. Look there. Mark Martin has caught the 26 car.
He is really on the move. That could be the fastest car on the racetrack. If Earnhardt isn't, Mark Martin is, I believe. He's now right on the back bumper of Brett Bodine. The number 5 car of Ricky Rudd comes in for a pit stop as we stay with the action on the racetrack and the battle for second position. Mark Martin looking to the inside of Brett Bodine, looking for second spot.
Now look at the 10 car of Derek Coachman up there as Mark Martin moves on the inside, takes the position. Derek was just in the pits, and you can see what it does. It allows him to stay down on the inside of the racetrack with those new tires on. And Darrell Waltrip has caught that group as well. Waltrip running in 4th place, so you're looking at 2nd, 3rd, 4th place there. Mark Martin 2nd, Brett Bodine 3rd, and Darrell Waltrip in 4th position.
Passing the 25 of Ken Schrader, who has fallen off the pace after a good early run.
Darrell trying to get out of 26 and just barely missed a quarter panel on the Brett Bodine car.
He'll go inside of Brett Bodine once again. Darrell Waltrip. He has Ken Schrader and Mark Martin ahead of him on the low groove.
Schrader would just move over and let you go 3 abreast. Well, now he's going to move up and let Darrell go on the inside. Bodine had the preferred line, but Schrader moved up.
Now, good move by Ken Schrader. What's happening up front? Well,
not much.
Not much.
Rusty Wallace in for a pit stop.
Dale Earnhardt just continues to sail along. He has the number 12 car of Mike Alexander ahead of him and the 75 car of Rick Wilson behind him, but neither one of those are on the lead lap. Here's a car that was on the lead lap. Rusty Wallace, however, he has come in for his pit stop, and you can see his is the very last pit stop as Dale Earnhardt moves by and puts Rusty a lap down. Rusty is the last pit toward turn number 1. He goes back out in competition as we watch Dale Earnhardt trying to put another lap on Mike Alexander.
Look at this. Darrell Waltrip has passed Mark Martin and has pulled about a 2-car length advantage.
Waltrip now in 2nd place. Chevrolet is running 1st and 2nd.
He is, however, a full straightaway, if not a little bit more, behind Dale Earnhardt. So Darrell Waltrip has some catching up to do. You can there you can see the interval.
And look at Jeff Bodine with those new tires on the Budweiser Ford number 11. Michael Waltrip was in for a pit stop in the car number 30. And look at him move up on Dale Earnhardt. Another lap or so, they'll get one of their laps back.
So Dale Earnhardt will be looking for a pit stop before too much longer, as he's got some worn tires on that car. There is Jeff Bodine getting one of his laps back, and so does Michael Waltrip. Both of those cars with fresh tires on after recent pit stops. We'll be back with more from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina.
Wow.
Benny,
I'm sorry.
You're going to survive all those years of racing and have a heart attack up here in the booth watching other people do it.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. Apparently what I'm being told is Barry Dodson said they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. Obviously they've only about 120 laps. You might as well come in and get fresh tires. Okay. Might as well come in and get fresh tires and just hope that so the tire give up is so bad. That's why Brewer and them pitted. So this car was just going away.
Yeah.
That's what Doug Williams says about Trickle. So the car is getting so slippery now, they're just hanging on until they get their pit stops.
Yep.
Well, I'm standing here beside Childress. They're talking a little bit right now. Let me see what I can find out. They're shaking their head. I think they'd like to get one of them yellow hankies out there.
What lap are we on? We only got 100 laps to go.
They're going to try to go another 15 or 20 laps before they bring Earnhardt in. I'm not sure Trickle can last that long the way his car is going away. I can't see the scoreboard. What lap is it?
We're coming up on 300, Jerry.
Okay, thanks.
300 right now.
apparently the tires are only lasting somewhere between 60 and 70 laps, maybe 75 or 80. I think that's why Earnhardt would like to be able to make another 15 or 20 laps. That way he'd know he'd have the tires and would make it all the way without really having to push the car. I mean, that's just my own feeling from what I'm seeing down here.
I think that's a good observation.
Because if they were to get a late caution with 20 laps to go and someone were to come in and put fresh tires on, Earnhardt didn't pit, it could really be trouble. But whatever. Other than that, it's a beautiful day down here.
Well, that's what happened on Sundays, Jerry.
Yeah, I know it. I tell you, I just, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Guys are great, huh?
Brett Bodine him. Brett Bodine him.
Back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway in the first Union 400, Dale Earnhardt leads this race with just a little less than 100 laps to go, and the number 26 car of Brett Bodine, which was leading not too long ago, has come in for what could be his final pit stop of the afternoon should we remain green the rest of the way. He was running in 4th position when he came in for the stop. Now, the leader of the race, Dale Earnhardt, will have to come in for another stop, we assume, between maybe the next 10 or 15 laps. He has put Alan Kowicki in number 7 a lap down, and now there are only 7 cars on the lead lap. Kowicki, just a few laps ago, was right in the thick of things, and Rusty Wallace, who has made a pit stop and is on fresh tires, gets one of his laps back.
And so is Rudd. The yellow and white automobile has made a pit stop, has changed tires, and Earnhardt knows he can't contest it. Look, folks, he just moves over and says, you got the racetrack.
He's got to be headed in for the pits before too long and get some fresh tires on that car. Second place machine of Darrell Waltrip needs a pit stop. So does Mark Martin, Dick Trickle.
Everybody that hasn't made a pit stop in the last 20 laps needs a pit stop, Bob.
Well, Harry Gant about to come in. He was running 1 lap down, but he's coming into the pitch. You saw him just on the left of your, or the right of your screen.
And Earnhardt just moves over, gives Derek Cope the outside, says, go ahead, I know you've got better tires than I got.
There's Kowicki in for his pit stop. Right side tires being changed. A little bit of a chassis adjustment there in the rear end.
Dick Trickle coming into the pits.
Jerry Punch is there in Dick Trickle's pit.
Well, they're going to change the tires on Dick Trickle's Trop Arctic Pontiac. Of course, we mentioned all these guys are cars really going away, and will apparently make a 4-tire change. The car getting so loose he couldn't drive it. He was running second when we went back to the green flag racing a little bit ago, and he dropped down to the top 5. They scamper around on the left side of the car. Doug Williams and the Cale Yarborough Motorsports crew now. Trickle throws the water bottle out the left window. It fueled the car, added to all 4 tires. He is down, well, almost down. They have a little trouble with the left rear. Now he's off the deck. He's down and away.
There goes Trickle back out onto the racetrack. He's been very competitive all afternoon long. In-car camera at work once again.
Michael Walton's car has slowed on the racetrack going into turn 3. He had made a pit stop and was running very good after that pit stop, but he's now coming into the pits. Dave Marcus, who's having a good run also here today. I thought he was coming into the pits, but he decided not to. Harry Labonte is into the pits. The Skoll Classic car number 1.
There's Davey Allison and Jimmy Means running together on the racetrack.
Davey Allison pitted just a few laps ago, changed 4 tires. We see Morgan Shepherd on the right of our screen just going in the pit.
Here comes Earnhardt, staying out there another time. John Kernan is in Morgan Shepherd's pit.
The Bucknell Ford crew is going through a 4-tire change. There's about 90 laps left, and they've got these putting on sticker tires, so the car will be a car to contend with. Although we have been seeing the tires fall off after about 6 weeks, but Morgan still gets plenty of cars to beat. And Jerry Punch is down on the other end of the pit road, where Dale Earnhardt's crew is getting ready for a stop.
And Mark Martin is coming into the pits. He was running in the 3rd position.
Dale Earnhardt and Mark Martin both Entry on the pit road. Here is Mark Martin's Folgers Ford. They will change the right side tires. Robin Pemberton now having a little trouble with the right front. Gets the tire off. Meanwhile, here is Earnhardt, the leader, who brings the Goodrich Chevrolet on the pit road. Now, they will change all 4 tires on the car number 3. The defending champion of the First Union 400 crew, Will Lynn, David Smith, Kurt Shelman under the crew, going to work on the right side of the car. The jack down on the right side. They come around 12 seconds, 13 seconds. There's a clock now ticking away. There goes Mark Martin's car by Earnhardt. Left side tires off. Shelburne puts the left front on. 21 seconds. The clock still ticking now. Lug nuts are on. The jack is dropped. Earnhardt is down. 24.8 seconds. 4 tires and back to turn 1.
Dale Earnhardt looking for his 3rd victory of 1990. He won at Atlanta. He won at Darlington. The leader at the race at the moment is Darrell Waltrip in car number 17, but he'll need a pit stop before long.
I don't think he wants to stay out there too long because Earnhardt will probably run a good second or a second and a half faster than will Waltrip with the new tires on. And I'll tell you, here comes Waltrip right now. He's not going to stay out there too long.
The crew is waiting on him, ready to spring into action. Jerry Punch is also ready to spring into action.
9-time winner here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Darrell Waltrip has the tied Chevrolet. Now crew going to work. Eddie Dixon has already rolled the right front tire off. Jeff Hammond twists the jack and runs around to the left side of the car. Billy Wilbur now takes the left rear tire. They're having trouble now with the left rear tire. Sandy Jones having trouble. That would have cost them a couple seconds. 17, 18 seconds. The clock now mounting up. The car off the jack, and now it's down here 20.9. Although they had some trouble, still a great pit stop for the tied crew.
Boy, it was 20.9 seconds for a 4-tire change. You can't ask for better than that from the Darrell Waltrip crew.
And you know what happened to Darrell Waltrip? He had the car in neutral when they let the jack down and didn't have it in gear. He let the clutch out. It cost him a second or two because he had to stop, put the car in first gear.
Mark Martin assumes the lead of this race.
So he was in the pits just before Earnhardt came in. So
spin down in turn 1. Kenny Wallace is involved. Kenny Wallace slams the wall in turn number 1. And a lot of pit stops were made just a couple of laps too soon, weren't they?
Darrell Waltrip, what, 2 laps? 2 laps too soon. He could have had the entire field a lap down, I think.
Boy, Kenny Wallace appears to have hit the wall very hard down the first turn. You can see the damage to the car. Kenny in his very first Winston Cup race.
Now
and the yellow is out for the 10th time this afternoon on North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway. So we will have to clean up the track and get the 36 car off of it before we go back to racing, and we'll take another break. Okay. Thingy, yeah. Boy, he did. That was good.
Jake Elder is standing here with me. Jake just held up the stopwatch and said, Jerry, did you see that? Talking about the Waltrip pit stop. He said, Jake got him at 19.68 seconds. I never seen anything like that. He said, and the thing wasn't even in gear when it dropped off the jack. So that's phenomenal.
Yep.
That's more words than Jake said in about a year and a half.
Okay.
And if he hadn't geared, it'd been even for him.
Yep, that's right. He had 2 problems and still did it in 20.3.
Yeah, he could have gained a lap on the field. No, not that quick.
No, I had no idea.
Where is he?
He appeared to hit pretty hard.
Yeah, he hit a ton down here. 3 cars in the lead lap only, 3:17 and 6.
Kenny, you got one? Okay.
Yeah, who all's on the lead lap?
3:17 and 6.
That's the only 3 that I've got. Is that right?
Yep, I guess.
Okay.
I was thinking.
Yes.
I was thinking the 21 car had made up the lap.
Well, he did. He had not made a pit stop. He should be back to 1 lap down.
He's only 1 down now. Right?
Okay, 1 down now.
He was 2 down.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mikey. What did you say? Okay.
Okay, where do I need to be? I'm still over in
the 26.
Oh, come on.
Robert Yates said on the radio he's going to buy Davey an ice cream cone for the way he's taking care of the car.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, yep. Yep.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's quick. Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, because
everybody
others,
else had pitted.
yeah.
Everybody else had pitted.
Everybody else had already pitted.
So he was probably in the lap by himself.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's right. The other two lead lap cars were pitted.
Yeah, it is.
Which also means that Earnhardt had a good pit stop. For Darrell to make that good of a stop and still be second after.
Okay, now we've just got the 3 cars on the lead lap, and we've got, what, 75 laps left. Should I be moving down or stay here, Pam? Scoring. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Yo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure what.
Well, at
time
least
you
they're
were.
given.
The 26 car is in 4th now on the leaderboard.
Thank you, bro. By the way, what?
There's the king. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, let's get rid of some of this crap here. Yeah, what is that? What is that? 404, ladies and gentlemen, write this down. 404. It's Russ McGonigal's birthday, and we need you to call him. Yeah. Okay. Satellite viewers, the 900 number to dial is 1-900-226-1000. No, that's not Russ's home phone number. That's where you can hear from your favorite driver, Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, J.J. Johnson, or Darrell Waltrip. Pick up the phone, give him a call. Cost you $1.95 for the first minute and $1 for each subsequent minute, and kids get your permission from your parents. The question this week is, what would you be doing if you weren't racing?
What would you be doing, Bob, if you weren't racing?
Owning a Dairy Queen.
The whole baby. I'd be your best customer, too. If I wasn't racing.
And Jer.
My hero, Corky.
And Dick Brooks. Hello. Nope.
Well, they moved the brooms down off the racetrack now. Yeah, they're pretty close.
We never did do that, did we?
Well, it hasn't been a major factor because all the action's been over
right,
two.
Yeah, it's a good thing we didn't do that. You guys take care of me so good. That was the story that was a non-story.
Well.
Did we ever figure out who hit Kenny Wallace?
Mm-mm.
I can't imagine not being on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree.
And the 66. I don't understand how come the 66. Who?
Oh. How's that rundown coming, Kenny?
They were saying that the caution car should have picked up Brett Bodine instead of Dale Earnhardt as the leader. And so they're checking the scoring.
Okay. So those guys may get their laps back, huh? Those guys may get their lap back.
We have the infamous.
Then there's a bunch of cars that would be affected on that if that's the case.
Oh, I mean the 66, the 15. I don't understand how any of them is not in the lead lap. The 11 car. I don't understand why.
We'll probably be under yellow for a while.
21
here.
car. I don't would it have been, because he was right behind Earnhardt when the caution came out. See, if it wasn't supposed to pick Earnhardt up, well, then he gets to go all the way around. He had not made a pit stop. That's the only reason he'd be back up there, but he had not made a pit stop.
Mike. Crawl is still going. Welcome.
Are we going to red flag this thing and get it over with? They're letting Earnhardt go by. They motioned him by, didn't he?
Well, I don't know. If he might be trying to tell them that I'm supposed to go by, or I don't know what the deal is.
They're fixing to play.
Yeah.
Everybody's going by. Clear back to Brett.
Yeah, they motioned Earnhardt to go by. He didn't want to go by. They just kept motioning. Now they're telling him to tell. They're telling Childress to tell him to go by.
Well, what are they going to do with all those cars that that made pit stops after that? On the lead lap.
Yeah, they've got Brett is the leader. I don't know, maybe he had been in a lap by himself, and that's why they let Earnhardt go around. So that's what happened. And some of these other guys getting back on the lead lap, and that was what Larry was talking to NASCAR about, apparently.
Now there are pace cars picking up.
And also, this extended caution is causing the 26 car to overheat a little bit more, apparently.
Huh.
Running about 240 degrees, I believe.
Come on, Harry, get around there.
Yeah, go on, Dale. Everybody go.
Everybody back to Brett. Okay. Okay, Martin, give me a rundown now.
Okay, 26, 7, 3.
Yes.
1, 17, 6, 66, 15, 27, 11.
Now, I'm not sure about the 7 car, Benny, because he had been lapped on the racetrack before they started making pit
I'm not
stops.
sure he is either. You're right. Or the 5 car.
Yeah.
Still yellow. Nah. Rick Wilson must be out of brakes, as he was last year at this time.
Yeah. Put a scotch under it, fellas.
They did, the jack.
Yep. Okay.
Squirting water on them brakes.
Yep, that's what they're telling us.
Third, they say.
Third. It's 26, 3, and 17. And then 6, and then 66.
You think the one's a lap down?
Yes. Yep, sure is. 11 cars on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is Kyle Petty. You don't agree, huh?
I don't know. If what they did was right, the 21 cars on the lead lap.
So maybe it reads 5, 21, 28, and 42.
He had not made a pit. I don't know. He was 2 laps down. That's probably right. Yeah. Yep. And Rick Mass is running second.
Yep. Elma Coward is third. Yeah, smoke break.
If we were in the press box, Chip Williams is explaining it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got to catch a plane at 4:30. He's hurting.
Who? Flatnose?
Oh. Jeff George drops back to pass. He's got a man open. Touchdown! Oh! Yes. What is it?
Well, let me see who the Lions got, man. Oh, they got Andre Wire. That's right. Didn't they? Yeah. Yep. Patriots got Chris Singleton. Who'd the Hornets get?
They're a little past halfway on this thing.
Uh-oh, they get calling Chip to the phone.
Uh-oh.
Here's Beatty getting up. Oh, my goodness.
This looks serious.
I believe we own the bet this anyway.
They just stopped the race.
There he is.
Joe.
Boy, I love to dance with him, though. He is a good dance partner.
Folks, that was Bob Jenkins said that.
Hey, I'm not ashamed of it. Joe V and I are... we do it. Now the cards and letters are really going to come in, aren't they? See, he's dancing up there right now. Come on, Joe. Let's see you. Attaboy. Come on. Come on. I love it. I love it.
Good thing the 26 cars in front of you would be overheating, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, this guy over here is hot.
Where?
You see him, the big guy?
Uh-uh.
Hey, you're right. You're doing good.
He's done.
There you, yeah. Oh boy. What lap are we on?
2 more than you was the last time you asked.
What lap are we on?
Jack?
Yep. 3 what? 3:36.
I think I need to go to the restroom.
Go ahead. Benny went to the bathroom, friends. Michael Waltrip is. How long has he been behind the wall?
A little while, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I made mention of the fact that he came in. I didn't say that he went behind the wall. I just said that he... Are there what? Red flag it, or call it a draw. Well,
everybody wins,
I thought
right?
you said they were going to call it red flag the race and then draw for position.
Right. Michael Waltrip has a transmission trouble. That's what they're back there working on.
Oh, okay.
He's been back there a little while.
They're putting the numbers in the hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kenny Martin.
One to go. One to go.
For like
All
Vietnam.
right.
Can we get a rundown,
Why were we yellow? Oh, Kenny Wallace, right?
Where everybody's trying to go down there. They're all trying to go.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway. Stop number 7 on the 1990 Winston Cup Tour, the first Union 400.
Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you by Purolator, the world's largest filter company. And by Levi's 505 and 506 jeans. Going back to green and a resumption of racing on lap 339. We have been yellow because of a crash down in turn 1 involving Kenny Wallace, and then the NASCAR scores have sorted out the standings and determined that Brett Bodine, number 26, is the leader, followed by Dale Earnhardt, then Darrell Waltrip, followed by Mark Martin and Dick Trickle. The number 9 car of Bill Elliott, which is right behind the leader, is not on the lead lap. We have 11 cars that are on the lead lap. Here comes Earnhardt and the 17 car of Darrell Waltrip. Now remember, he had a tremendous pit stop not too long ago, and our Big A Auto Parts pit stop performance shows us that he did a great job bringing the car in and out, 13.2, but look at the crew time, 20.7 seconds to change 4 tires and refuel the car for a total of 33.9 seconds. How did it affect him? Well, he came into the pits and in the lead, and he came out in 3rd position, but a great pit stop by Darrell Waltrip. Jerry, were they talking about it down there on pit road?
Absolutely, Bob. I mean, they stunned some people that aren't easily impressed, like the veteran Jake Elder, who was sitting there watching it. Now, Jake got him a little under 20 seconds. He said, hey, I can't believe that. In fact, they had trouble with the left rear tire, which probably cost him a second, and Darrell had the car in neutral when he dropped it off the jack, so that's another second. It could have been 18 seconds for 4 tires. That's almost unbelievable.
It really is. 2 problems and still a pit stop that quickly by the Darrell Waltrip crew. Bill Elliott trying to get his lap back from the leader, Brett Bodine. Meanwhile, Earnhardt and Waltrip both close in on Brett Bodine. And Mark Martin is also right there in 4th position.
Tell you what, I think Bill Elliott is he's at least 1 lap down. I think he's 2 laps down. Brett Bodine 3 laps down. He would be better served to let Bill Elliott go on because he has outrun him a little bit right now. What he's going to do is let Earnhardt, Darrell Waltrip, Mark Martin, the rest of the field catch him before Bill Elliott, before whatever happens with Bill Elliott's going to happen.
Bill Elliott is in 19th position, 3 laps down, trying to make it 2 laps down. Bill Elliott, 19th position so far this year on the short tracks, a 4th and a 17th. Brett Bodine, on the other hand, is the leader of this race. And last year here at North Wilkesboro, he was 28th and 17th. So he is doing a great job in that Quaker State Buick and holding it in 1st position. Meanwhile, here comes Dale Earnhardt, really closing in on Brett.
Brett has the preferred line, and that's on the inside. Earnhardt coming up there. Elliott now, I believe, realizes that he's not going to get one of those laps back, or maybe he does, maybe he doesn't.
Darrell Waltrip is just watching all of this back in 3rd position, knowing that there could be some contact up there between Earnhardt and Elliott and Brett Bodine. There, Earnhardt had to slam on the brakes to keep from running into the back of Brett Bodine. But now Brett pulls easily ahead, and Darrell Waltrip is there in 3rd position. Mark Martin putting the pressure on Darrell Waltrip.
Darrell better not watch too much longer because Mark Martin's going to be going by him. There's Alan Kulwicki, Morgan Shepherd, the entire field is pulled up on the back bumper of Mark Martin.
Now the 7 car of Alan Kulwicki is not on the lead lap. He's a lap down in 12th spot.
11 cars on the lead lap with Brett Bodine leading.
And there is the number 5 car of Ricky Rudd and the 11 of Jeff Bodine. And Jeff is in 8th position in the Junior Johnson car. Started outside the front row. 50 laps to go in this one. 350 laps completed. Back to the leader. It's Brett Bodine, but being pressured by Dale Earnhardt. As now Bill Elliott has let the leaders go.
This looks like the same picture we saw last fall, except the positions were reversed. The black 3 was in front, the green 26 was in the rear.
And of course the 26 was being driven by Ricky Rudd at the time.
Darrell is pulled up on the back bumper of Dale Earnhardt.
He sure is. Waltrip looks like he did have thoughts of taking away second position from Dale.
It's amazing. Earnhardt was up beating on the back bumper for 26. He's going to have his back bumper worn off here in a minute.
Earnhardt had some problems in the early going, fell a lap down, but made it up. Just behind this action, the 15 and the 27 car. There's the 15 of Morgan Shepherd and the 27 car of Rusty Wallace. He is on the lead lap in 6th position, and Dick Trickle in 66 is just behind Rusty. This is one of Rusty's better performances. He needed this finish, or does need a good finish, to keep the spirits up. He started off the season with 3 top 10 finishes, but then has fallen off the last 3. And you heard him say on Speedway last night that he needs to get rid of some of his commitments from the sponsors to concentrate on the action. The number 5 car of Ricky Rudd is also right there behind Dick Trickle. And he is on the lead lap. Second, third, and fourth. Earnhardt, Waltrip, Martin.
Brett Bodine pulled out about a 10-12 car length advantage over Earnhardt. Larry McReynolds told John Kernan earlier on that his car seems to run better on hot tires. Proof of it is he's able to pull away from Earnhardt just a little bit.
And Brett Bodine has never won a Winston Cup race, and as a matter of fact, he's never finished second in a Winston Cup race. His 3rd place finish at Charlotte, his best career finish ever. So we may have a first-time winner in Winston Cup competition this afternoon out of Brett Bodine, who right now is leading the first Union 400, but getting pressure from Earnhardt, Waltrip, and Martin. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, Dr. Jerry Punch, and John Kernan back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway in the first Union 400. The leader is Brett Bodine in the green Quaker State Buick number 26. Second place, Earnhardt. Third, Waltrip. Fourth, Martin. Fifth, Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd trying to keep alive his streak of finishing in the top 10 each and every race in 1990. Despite the back problem, Morgan Shepherd is running in 5th position.
Tell you what, he's looking pretty close to 4. He's right up on the back bumper of Martin. He's going on the outside of Martin. Ooh, is this going to work?
I think Mark's going to be able to hold him off.
Well, I think so, huh?
Nope, I don't know. Here comes Morgan.
Ooh,
they touch.
They sure did, and boy, did Morgan Shepherd do a good job of holding that thing. Martin backed off. Once they touched, he backed off, and that helped to save both of them.
Morgan Shepherd goes to 4th. Mark Martin back to 5th place. The laps continue to click off.
Now, Morgan Shepherd's car is another one of those. We're talking about those that run better on long runs and hot tires. Morgan Shepherd is certainly one of those cars. Brett Bodine's car doing a super job out front, the Buick, the Quaker State Buick. But Morgan Shepherd would like a long run here right now. He would like this race to go the rest of the way and not have another car.
Coming at lap 365. 365 laps completed. 35 more to go. Rusty Wallace, Dick Trickle, and Ricky Rudd. They're running 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's been an up and down for Ricky, down day, I should say, for Ricky Rudd, who has lost laps, but he's always been able to gain them back and is in the top 10.
I'll have Jerry Punch pick us up about 1.5 inches mouth wrench if you need one there, Jenkins.
Save it for next time.
Well, here's Trickle now trying to move on the inside of Rusty.
Good side cam shot from Dick Trickle's car, running very close to Rusty.
Ricky Rudd was trying to make it 3 abreast. Rusty moves up the racetrack. Here comes Trickle back on the inside one more time.
Trickle looking for 6th position. Now watch how close they are.
It is close.
Man.
Darrell Waltrip looks on the inside of Dale Earnhardt going down in turn one. He's on the inside. Can he make it stick, Bob?
This is for second position. Nope.
Ooh, Earnhardt comes down, closes the door on Darrell.
Great short track racing. Earnhardt holding off Darrell Waltrip for second spot. Morgan Shepherd watching. Waltrip once again moves inside of Dale. He may have him this time. We'll watch him race down the backstretch. Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt battling for second spot. Here comes Morgan Shepherd to join in. And Waltrip has Earnhardt.
Battle of Chevrolets. Well, here comes Earnhardt back up on the outside, but Waltrip will get him coming off of turn 2. And now Ford joins in the battle of the Chevrolets.
Now Darrell Waltrip sets his sights on the leader, Brett Bodine. Dick Trickle and Morgan Shepherd in some real close racing here in one. Watch them come together.
Trickle went in hard going into turn 1. Slid into Rusty just a little bit. Rusty goes high in the car number 27, and Trickle and Ricky Rudd go by.
Now Darrell has gotten in front of Earnhardt. He's not able to pull away.
Boy, are we going to have an excited Brett Bodine in victory lane if he can hold off here for the next 30 laps and win this race. Waltrip is second, Earnhardt third, and Morgan Shepherd is fourth. And then comes Mark Martin, the number 6 car, and Dick Trickle just blew up.
Yes, it is. Looks like the engine come unglued.
Oh, tough break for Dick Trickle, who I doubt seriously was out of the top 5 at any point of this race. He has been so good today after starting from his best starting position ever in Winston Cup competition. He's third.
He's trying to pull the goggles up so he can see where he's going. There's so much smoke in the automobile.
He pulls it back into the garage area, and it's all over for Dick Trickle, who retires when running in 7th position. All right, it's back now to this 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place situation, as Brett Bodine continues to lead the First Union 400.
Morgan Shepherd in the red and white 15 up alongside Earnhardt. Takes a look coming off the second corner, but not able to bring the car down.
And look at Mark Martin. He tried to make a run on Shepherd. They're coming up on Rick Mask in car number 2. Who will get the advantage? It looks like Earnhardt.
Rick Mask gave all the drivers all the room they needed coming off the 4th corner. Moved up. If they'd want to make it 3 abreast, there was room there.
The laps are clicking off now, 25 to go. Dale Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, and Mark Martin, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Darrell Waltrip is second, Brett Bodine leading the race. Now Mark Martin looking to the inside of Morgan Shepherd, may have gotten the left side wheels off the racetrack down in the grass just a moment. They're in turn 1. Things seem to be settling down just a little bit here in the scramble for the first 5 positions, so we'll take another break and be back with more of our coverage of the First Union 400 from North Wilkesboro, North Carolina Speedway. Brett Bodine from Chemung, New York, in the Quaker State Buick leads the First Union 400 with less than 25 laps to go. In second position is Darrell Waltrip, and there is the interval between first and second. Then comes Earnhardt, Morgan Shepherd, and Mark Martin. Let's go to Jerry Punch, who has to be a very disappointed Dick Trickle.
I'm sure he's disappointed a little bit, but Dick, an outstanding run for you today. Super effort.
Yeah, we had a little left there. Yeah, you know, we were pretty comfortable all day. We had like 50 to go, and I was turning up the pilot light a little bit. We wanted to stay in contention all day, and car was running well. I was catching a second, third, fourth place car. We were running like 2/10 laps faster than they were, and she'd have been a good finish. But I got to give Phil 66 and Cale Yarborough Motorsports and my team a lot of credit. We just ain't had any luck, but we've been running real good. I'm proud to be with them.
Indeed, an outstanding effort. And talk about that team. Doug Williams, his crew chief, has been named Western Auto Mechanic of the race, and he will get the $1,000 award for doing an outstanding effort getting the car to qualify third and running the top 5 all afternoon.
And, of course, we'll be watching for Dick Trickle next week, next Sunday at Martinsville, another short track where he can definitely perform very, very well. Again, we remind you, you can hear your favorite driver and one car owner share his thoughts about his personal life and his racing career. The question this week, by the way, is what would you be doing if you weren't racing? Dial 1-900-226-1000 and hear from Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Junior Johnson, and Darrell Waltrip. The calls cost $90.95 for the first minute and $1 for each subsequent minute. And, of course, we urge the youngsters to please get permission from your parents before you dial. All right, Brett Bodine is the leader, but is he slowing down?
No, there was about to be a wreck off of turn 4 as Harry Gant and Davey Allison got together, but the wreck did not materialize. Brett Bodine is running very strong yet.
Yes, he is. The question is, can he hold off the challenge of Darrell Waltrip? Now, Darrell is about a half a straightaway behind in second position, but the laps are clicking off, and Brett Bodine, within 15 more laps, will have his first Winston Cup win. We're checking the interval here. It's 1.9 seconds. Just a little less than 2 seconds separate Brett Bodine in the lead and Darrell Waltrip in second spot.
Brett Bodine, this lap has clear racetrack in front of him going through the third and fourth corner. The break that Bodine needs now is to catch the traffic on the straightaway so he can get by him and run the preferred line through the corner. Run where he wants to, not where the other car dictates he has to run. Look, 1.8, so Darrell Waltrip gained 1/10 of a second that lap.
He sure did.
But he'll have to gain more than that, fellas, because there are not that many laps left. 1/10 of a second a lap won't do it.
Brett Bodine running up behind 2 cars is running side by side. Ernie Irvin and the 12 car, Mike Alexander.
I don't think we shut off the clock there as where we should. It was less than that. We'll try it again. It's difficult. I got confused there a few laps ago between Darrell Waltrip and Derek Cope's car. Here's Bodine now at the line, and there is Waltrip, 1.6. He is knocking it down about 1/10 of a second a lap.
That's about what he's gaining, but if he doesn't gain more than that, he will not be able to catch Brett. Now Brett goes around the car number 4 of Ernie Irvin. Irvin gives him room to run.
Kenny Bernstein-owned cars have only won twice in Winston Cup competition, and they have both been on road courses with Ricky Rudd. And there are 10 laps to go. 10 laps to go for Brett Bodine. Let's go to John Kernan, who's with Larry McReynolds.
Larry right now is listening apparently to Brett as the laps wind down. You can see he's coming up on the lap car of Mike Alexander. Larry, there's just a few laps left. Can he hang on?
I really didn't hear what you said. All I know is we don't need no caution in this last 10 laps. Darrell's coming about 2/10 a lap, but hopefully we'll run out of laps before he gets there.
They've got their fingers crossed here in the Brett Bodine pit that they will go green the rest of the way.
All right, and the drama begins to build now. Can Brett Bodine enter the status of Winston Cup winners?
Which would put him in the Winston at Charlotte next month.
And it would drop Morgan Shepherd out of the Winston. The most recent 19 winners qualify, and Morgan Shepherd will be bumped from the Winston if Brett Bodine can hold on here. 1.2 seconds, 4/10 of a lap.
But
been shaved off in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, but there are 2 cars between Darrell and Brett Bodine, and that could have made some of the difference. Now Jimmy Spencer moves over, lets Brett Bodine go by, gives him plenty of room. He's coming up on Kyle Petty. Will be the next car that he will catch.
And Kyle Petty is running in 10th position, so he stands to go a lap down here in the closing stages of this event.
There's still 2 cars, even though Darrell Waltrip has moved around the car number 12. There's still 2 cars between him and Brett Bodine.
And there's a battle for 5th position as Ricky Rudd took 5th from Mark Martin. So positions being exchanged here in the late going of the first Union 400. That has been an exciting afternoon of racing. There is Bodine, who has passed Kyle Petty and putting him a lap down. There are 9 cars on the lead lap, and there are 5 laps to go on the 5/8 mile here at North Wilkesboro. Brett Bodine's best finish in a Winston Cup race at Charlotte, a third. And that was in 1988.
In the Bud Moore Ford.
We see him in the same straightaway. Darrell just a few car lengths behind the 26 car driven by Brett Bodine.
We could be setting up here for a finish similar to the one we had 2 weeks ago at Bristol when we had a virtual side-by-side dead heat when the checkered flag dropped. Here is Bodine moving out of the fourth corner once again. And there are 3 laps to go. 3 more laps to go for Brett Bodine. There's Waltrip in second.
Boy, he drove hard into the third turn that time. He knows that the time is running out on him.
2 laps to go. Terry Labonte is between Brett Bodine and Darrell Waltrip.
Brett Bodine is going to be here's a good race between Morgan Shepherd and Ricky Rudd. Rudd is coming on strong in the later stages.
He sure is. He's picked off Mark Martin, and now he's about to pass and does Morgan Shepherd. The white flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Brett Bodine. But here comes Darrell Waltrip. He is charging. He has passed Terry Labonte and now has clear racetrack between himself and Bodine. There's the separation between the two. Can Brett Bodine hold on for his first Winston Cup win? Here he comes off the fourth corner. He's going to do it. Brett Bodine wins the first Union 400. Look at the crew celebrate.
This might be the happiest driver you've ever seen in your life.
I think you may be right.
These 2 guys have been racing for the last 30 laps.
Here's the battle. Look at this. Davey Allison and Jeff Bodine banging together coming off the fourth corner, but Bodine holds on to the position. That was for 8th spot. And Jeff Bodine got it. Let's go to John Kernan, who's with Larry.
A very happy Larry McReynolds. Larry, car ran great this afternoon.
Well, you know, we've run good so much. I knew we could make Brett Bodine a winner, become a winner together, and it couldn't happen at a better time. You know, we've been getting a lot of pressure from a lot of people. I think there was a lot of doubts that we could do it, but we showed them today. Now we got to go win another one.
You don't look too happy, though.
Well, I don't think it's sunk in yet. For 4 years, we've been threatening on short tracks. We've won on the road courses, but it's finally become a reality.
Okay, Larry, we'll let you get to victory lane to see a very happy Brett Bodine as he's coming down pit road, and the crew is congratulating him. Brett's first career win.
Indeed, the crew has moved out to Brett's car here on pit road as they now push it to victory lane, and it's going to be a major celebration right there when we join Brett Bodine in victory lane here at North Wilkesboro in just a few moments. We'll be back for that right after this.
It's unbelievable what track position does for you.
Can you believe that I've won 2 of those things this year with team?
What do we do with this money here? Give it to second place? Who had Walter? Ken. No, we'll carry it over till next week. What do you think? Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, it suits me. #20th.
Gee whiz.
I had him in the pool of Bristol. Does that count?
Oh, you're only 2 weeks late. Thank you.
We ain't doing that out.
Yeah. Okay. No, we just say road handler. Okay. 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 Jerry is there. Thank you. Okay. The top 5 in the First Union 400. The winner, Brett Bodine. Darrell Waltrip second. Dale Earnhardt third. Ricky Rudd fourth. And Morgan Shepherd was fifth. From the broadcast booth on Saturday to Victory Lane on Sunday, our Sears Road Handler Winner's Circle interview. Here is Jerry Punch.
Bob, tears of joy from Brett and Diane Bodine. Brett has climbed out of the Quaker State Buick, sits on top of the car. My friend, congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I'll tell you, you're the greatest co-anchor in racing and motorsports, and I thank you for what we did yesterday. But thank you, Quaker State and Buick. I'll tell you, they gave me the best race car I ever had the last 60 laps of this race. I just drove it as hard as I could. I knew I had to take care of them back tires because that's what went away on us during the day. I had to take care of them. Just get out there and run and keep a nice pace and work the lap traffic. I just want to thank the good Lord for a safe race, and thank you very much for my first win.
We knew you were also fighting an overheating problem.
Oh, it was terrible hot. It run 240 all day on the water temperature, and it was burning my feet pretty bad. That's why I don't want to stand down right now. It just, you know, one of them things you got to put up with throughout the day. It turned out hotter than we anticipated, and the car ran hot. We had to stay out in front and keep that clean air to keep the car cooled down so that we could keep going.
You were watching Waltrip those last few laps. They had to be giving you the intervals.
I wasn't watching him a bit. I was just trying to work that lap traffic the best I could and just run the car as hard as I could. Like I said, taking care of the back tires so I had something at the end. How about that, Jeff, huh, buddy?
All right, here is big brother Jeff Bodine coming in to congratulate little brother Brett on his first ever Winston Cup win. And Jeff gives Diane a big hug. An outstanding effort. 31-year-old Brett Bodine wins it here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Well, the First Union 400 is history, and they are indeed happy here in the Quaker State area of Victory Lane. We'll be back.
The First Union 400 here at North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina is history, and in Victory Lane, Brett Bodine from Chemung, New York is celebrating his first ever Winston Cup win. Our Speed World coverage has been brought to you by Pronto, featuring quality auto parts at lower prices. By Big A, the first letter in auto parts and your local Big A store. And by Quaker State, the Big Q is one tough motor oil. Let's take a look now at the top 20 finishers. Darrell Waltrip finished second, followed by Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd, and Morgan Shepherd. 6 through 10, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Bodine, Davey Allison, and Kyle Petty. Finishing 11th was Alan Kowicki. Then comes Dave Marcus, Kerry Gant, Dale Jarrett, and Terry Labonte. And 16 through 20, Ernie Irvin, Mike Alexander, Bill Elliott, Ken Schrader, and Jimmy Spencer. The Winston Cup points have Dale Earnhardt in the lead. Morgan Shepherd is second. Mark Martin is in third. Kyle Petty fourth. Jeff Bodine is fifth. And Brett Bodine moves to ninth in the point standings. Brett led 146 of the 400 laps. Next week, the Haynes Activewear 500 from Martinsville Speedway. More short track racing for you. We'll have it at 12:30 Eastern Time next Sunday. For Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, Dr. Jerry Punch, and John Curtin, this is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.